Welcome everyone to MinusOneCHarisma. We're the second best
Hey!
Dungeons & Dragons stream on the internet.
Oh,
Thank you for joining
it's
us.
him.
We're going to continue our campaign into Aventide. Let's see all the players. How about that? What's up, everybody?
Hey!
You have
Hello.
to pick the best dice.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's
Anyway.
start the game.
With that, we're gonna go.
We don't need to know more about our secret
We're gonna
relationship
go to
with our heart rate
a
monitor.
little check-in,
I'm gonna
and
keep putting
then we'll
dice
do
in my
a
mouth, and we
recap.
don't get paid enough for that.
You're getting muted in 3, 2, 1.
Discord chat.
Yes, we've got Captain Akoto. That poison arrow really is effective, eh? Oh no, Akoto's stitched together abomination is onto us. Quick, make our move. Should we go out there and join them? Pup, watch out! Alright, take this! Incento! What? That was a huge firebolt, but this beast is so massive it barely burnt it. Gods, I hate the pit. Oh wait, the ram's head looks angry. Everybody, hold on! I take a step into the dark. I don't know where I am, but the best way out is always through, right? It's logical. I force myself forward. My footsteps leave behind a multicolored trail of wet paint. My mysterious mentor, Dresden, dripping in crimson red. My newfound friend, Pup, crashing out of the blue and shaking it off like the wolf she truly is at heart. Kelwise, the noble nomad, climbs out of yellow, the paint quickly drying up and chipping away, turning into sand behind him. It's cold here, and even with their presence behind me, a chilling fear takes root, freezing my heart and clouding my judgment. I stop. What's the point? I can't keep walking forever. My body feels as though it's about to give way when a hand reaches up to grab mine in the dark. I look down to see Cornelia, glowing in pink. I smile down and remember who I am and where I am going. I walk forward once more, my friend supplying me with enough energy to keep this momentum. Two glowing red eyes meet mine. They can see right through me, into my soul. And even though I can't make out who they belong to at first, I know who it is. It's Trust. Once a traveling companion and now a stranger hiding in the shadows. So much mystery here. Things they don't teach you in the Academy of Arcane Studies. My mind races with the rules, the books, the endless seas of scrolls I read on the topic, but I have yet to really know the truth behind the chaos. I only know law, but could there really be an in-between? A balance? A flash of blinding light and I see a giant skeletal face behind Trust's silhouette. Oh, bourgeois, what have you done? I reach out, but my friends stop me and push me forward. Now is not the time. And finally I see it, a light at the end of what I thought was an endless tunnel. None of my studies or practices could ever prepare me for this. The next adventure. But I don't want to leave yet. My canvas is still so bare. But to most of us, this isn't a journey you take willingly. And just like that, my body is thrust forward. I fly through the air now, racing towards something bright, something pure. It's Eva. I see her in the blinding light, two massive butterfly wings behind her. She reaches out to me, but just as we're about to be reunited, I am rejected. Thrown off course, sent into the mist of purple smoke that seems to continually surround our group wherever we go. I close my mouth and try not to breathe, but my chest burns, my body aches, and my curiosity is piqued. I give in. Dresden! You're a giant? What are we? Oh god, it's still following us! Go!
Pup managed to save her sister, who was attached to that belt. And when Pup put it on, there was small needles that pulled her blood and connected her to the animals who were all chained to it. And she tried to stop that manticore, that huge beast with the big wings and that face, until it started to go insane. Trust attempted to talk it down using the infernal tongue, but it seemed like it was already too far gone to reach any kind of understanding. Before being eventually defeated, though, Dresden was infected by this giant blast of core energy that kind of took him back to the early days when he first became a low sentinel for the commission, and kind of one of his darker cases that he had to investigate. A man with yellow eyes, toothy smile and just blood everywhere. But before the manticore could finally rest, Pup saw this giant yarn-like jumble of threads that made up the fate of this beast, and it had been stealing faces, so its fate was intertwined with so many other different animals and creatures and beings. She managed to cut that giant chaos of threads and restore them all kind of back to where they should be, splitting the manticore into the multiple different parts that made up this kind of grotesque figure. Then the party went after Akoto, and when they went to his menagerie they found out he had this giant 3-headed creature, and he was going to release it to kill this rampaging manticore. But before they could do that, before he could finally release it, the party had poisoned a couple arrows and a dagger and tried to knock him out before he could do it. Unfortunately, that beast protecting its master saw Pup throw that dagger and went into a rage, ripping the remaining shackles it had out of the ground, and it started to rampage all around, basically bringing the party to its knees almost instantly. That's when Dresden downed a big old potion of Enlarge that was laced with core and started crackling with that purple energy, growing to nearly 10 feet. He grabbed his companions, jumped over the fence, and right as he did that, Ander was there, Kelwai's brother, with that beautiful mustache, and he was yelling, to the dive, maybe we can drop it in the dive. And that is where we begin our game, right here. Here's the party, kind of standing outside. Here is Ander, right here. And just above them, if you'll see, there's this giant rampaging 3-headed, we'll call it a chimera, I guess, because that's what it is.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh my god! The scale of that
No. So you're
is
saying
way
there's
bigger than I thought it was!
Yeah,
So you're
it's-
saying
it's-
there's like no time to like get a quick long rest in before we fight this?
It's 20 feet across. And
Like,
it's,
what if we say please?
Oh, it's 40 feet from head to tail, and it's about 20 feet tall at the tall. It had 3 heads. One was a serpent head. It was like a snake with little horns on it. One was a wolf head with like an exoskeleton carapace of bone that just protruded out of its head, and the third was a ram with massive horns with barbs. That's what you guys kind of saw as it went through and just completely demolished any buildings. The only thing really in between you is that thin iron gate right here.
That should stop it, though, right?
Yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no way.
Thin iron gate.
I love that he's like thin. He
Yeah.
makes note that
Emphasize.
it's thin. Yeah. It's made of pewter and tin, and a little bit of aluminum foil where the hinges are. Fudge.
Just strong enough to stay up.
Okay.
Oh man.
Boy, howdy.
Okay. Is that it? Is that the setup, James? Is that all we have before we
that's where we're
die?
at. Dresden, give me a Constitution saving throw, because we didn't do it last time. We forgot.
No!
He drank that core
I didn't
potion that
think-
had all
You
that energy, and it's unpredictable in its nature.
Bobby, this one's on you.
Just stop using them. Why do you give this to
You're a
me?
gift, and I will keep using them. That is
Damn it.
a 7. Because
7.
I have a pretty good constitution.
Yeah,
The
you
roll
feel
is
that
great.
you feel that energy kind of swirling inside you, and it's kind of like tearing at your insides. You only take 1 point of damage, but you take 1 point of that damage, and it really just rips into your body. Yeah. Immediately, Trust, you've been scooped up by this larger-than-life Dresden as he grabbed you while and jumped the fence. You are next in the initiative order, as this thing is basically looking at your group, ready to hop this fence and just go ape.
Ape, ape, ape.
Part of it's an ape too. Oh God.
Yeah.
I don't have anything left. I forgot. Did I cast Dancing Lights last time or no? I couldn't because I was already concentrating on something else. I was concentrating on Bane.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which is it still at Bane?
Yeah. Is Bane still going?
It was the Manticore, I think.
Yes.
No, I did not attack my beautiful Manticore, did I?
No, it was on this. Trust wasn't there for the Manticore.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. My tiny legs couldn't get there fast enough.
Yeah, she was yelling at everybody.
Right.
Wait.
Stop! So is Bane still going or no?
Yes, Bane's still going.
Okay. Then I will try some vicious mockery. As I'm being carried, I'm just
All right.
Yeah. Sarah McLachlan
Mock
starts playing
this thing. I want to
in
hear
the
you
arms
mock
of an
this
ape.
thing.
All right.
Trust, you
All
kind of
right.
stand up on Dresden's shoulder, which
Yes!
is massive at this point. You run up
Hold
there
onto his
and
hair.
grab like a lock of his sideburns and scream at this thing.
Oi! You triple-headed monstrosity! You couldn't even decide what you want to be! Get out of here! Stop attacking us good, kind-hearted people and go back to what hellscape you came from!
Tell him.
It's successful. Roll some damage.
Yeah.
So yeah, this thing is
1d4. Not that much damage.
it's not really
Do that
hurt.
like 200-300
It's
more times and we
just-
got
yeah.
this thing.
It's confused more than anything else.
Right.
It just
Because
has
it'll
this
have
look of,
disadvantage on its next attack roll, which is great.
and
And I
-4 because
rolled
of the Bane.
Yeah. Great, because I rolled a 1 for damage. So.
1 damage. 1 is more than none.
None.
Yeah. So Trust just starts yelling a hail of we'll call them obscenities. They're really like
Really intense
yeah.
insult. Wow.
Cornelia, it was your turn next. What are you gonna do?
It's a good question.
You've only had all week to think, so make the right decision.
So I'm gonna.
Think?
The fate of our entire party
Hello.
is in your hands.
I know. I'm so worried.
I don't take that week to think. I try to be in real time.
Same. Yeah, we're not
Good.
metagamers.
So I'm gonna. I guess since I'm being, I'm in someone's arm, I'm gonna try to minor illusion, maybe a Kodo, kind of where the.
Well,
Okay.
your minor illusion has to fit in a 5 by 5 foot box. So it would have to be
Doesn't?
like a Kodo grabbing his knees, sitting down on the ground, or something on like that kind of.
Stooping? Can he stoop?
He can stoop.
Stupid. Got him.
Maybe can I get him like leaning, like kind of stooped on a knee with his hands up in front of the guy?
Sure. Yeah. Roll a Arcana check to try and reach out in this magic weave and build this thing.
15.
15. Okay, so it's a pretty good rendition. We'll see if it even clocks it. Remember, these animals have a lot of different sensory glands that they use, so
Got 3 sets of eyes, for Christ's sake.
yeah, we'll see. But
Okay.
yeah, a little Akodo appears right there with his hands up, looking very desperate. Pup, what are you doing?
I have been scooped up.
Yes.
I'm currently
Scooped
scooped.
up.
Scooped up.
Yeah, you have the scooped condition.
Where are we going? Where are we going?
Where, what direction?
Anders had just run over and yelled, to the dive, to the dive.
Yeah,
And he's like
and I was
running off
following
to
him.
the west. Yeah, he's like booking it.
Then I am going to.
Fart?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna fart. I'm gonna do nothing.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold an attack. If anything gets close enough for me to bop, I'm gonna bop it if it gets close
All right. Yeah. So if one of those heads comes lashing out, you can try and like
Yeah.
bop it before it
Bop.
bites Dresden in the butt or something.
enough. Exactly.
Okay.
Whack-a-mole.
Out of my head.
With that, Rezik.
I'm gonna hold a whack-a-mole.
Yeah, all right. So you, as you heard from the summary, or now it's kind of more of a character check-in, I guess. I was knocked unconscious, and then I was revived by Kelwise, and now I'm being held, so I'm just kind of like still waking up a little bit. But I'm gonna see the situation. I guess I was gonna do a silent image to make it an Akodo, but it's already been made, so I guess I'll just throw Firebolt.
Okay.
Two
Throw
Akodos.
Firebolt.
It'll be bad or good. I don't even know.
Go for it. Throw one. We'll see.
So I was gonna wake up, just kind of like lob a Firebolt, and hopefully it hits. Oh, great! Yeah, it's definitely gonna hit. 25.
25 hits. Roll some damage.
Okay, so that is 5 burninating damage.
5 burninating damage. All right. So fire damage. That firebolt hits the wolf right in the head, and that flame seems to singe that bone carapace, and its eyes just kind of lock straight on you, Dresden. It saw you start your cast, it saw you let that blast out, and it saw you hit it right in the face, and it doesn't seem phased at all. It seems like the bone on, like, you would have to melt through that bone with your fire spells to even hurt this thing at this point.
Oh, good.
Not helping. Not helping.
Yeah.
Just.
No, but you seem to have done, like, some damage. There's a singed spot on its face.
Yeah, no,
Maybe
he's
not
just,
as much
he's just
as you had
exhausted from being
hoped.
unconscious, so he's just like, eh.
Yeah.
That's me.
Kelwise, what are you doing?
Yeah. So I'm being held as well, right?
Yes, all of you are
the
somewhere
whole world in
on
my
Dresden's. I assume Dresden's got his hands like this, and you guys are on various spots of his body. He's 10 feet tall right now, so and all of his equipment has grown that big too. So some of you are probably grabbing his shirt, some of you are grabbing his hair, maybe a few on his beard. Yeah.
Okay. And sorry, I'm looking at it on a phone, but how far away is the beast from us? Is it like within arrow's distance? Could I hit it if I were to shoot an arrow?
Yeah, you could absolutely shoot an arrow. You'd have to like lob it over the gate a little bit, but it's tall, so maybe not. Yeah, you could probably hit it. Like at least the snakehead that snakehead's up above the other ones, just kind of sitting up there.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do that, but before I do that, can I yell down to Ander, what are we doing at the dive once we get there?
We're gonna drop it in the dive. That's the only thing I can think of. We'll
Good
get it
plan.
on one
It's
of those.
better than anything we have.
We'll get it on one of those, one of the platforms, and we'll knock out the supports.
Let's roll with that. And
Okay.
and I shoot an arrow. Oh boy! And because I'm not an archer, turns out it's a 8.
An 8. So yeah, it's not that you miss the shot on this big creature, but between that wolf's carapace flying around and those ram's horns, you just hit bone, and the arrow just is eviscerated. It just splinters into 1,000 pieces.
Yeah,
And
I just
you
turned to
shoot,
you. Stop making it angry.
yeah, and immediately just it doesn't fly necessarily, but it leaps, and its wings just and it leaps all the way over, and boom, lands right there, and all 3 heads go after Dresden immediately. The
I can
first
bop it
wolf.
first.
Oh,
boy.
yes. Pop. Which head are you bopping?
The one that just got burned.
Burned the wolf head.
No, I thought it was a snake one. The wolf head. Yeah. I'm a bop the wolf.
Okay.
Bop it to
Oh.
wolf.
Roll a
I
bop
feel
check.
very wrong doing this.
It's wolf adjacent. Let's call it that.
I am
Okay.
going to die.
He has a name now, Jason?
Wolf adjacent.
Okay. That would be a 10.
A 10. All right. Well, that doesn't hit, but you managed to whack the wolf right again. That vibrating feeling because of your metal rod. Just your hands go numb, then your wrists go numb, and then your forearms, and then your elbows, and your biceps, and you're like, wow, that was really strong. The wolf jumps up at you, Dresden, and Pup's staff isn't enough to stop it. It does get disadvantage, and it's baned. So, 2 attacks.
Please.
Rolls.
Please.
But -4. That's a 13.
God.
12.
Oh, God.
I'm in the
Yeah.
Ashen Rider stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Nice knowing you guys.
Wait, even when you're that big? That doesn't mess with your...
all right. Minimum
I don't
damage.
see.
I
I
don't
think it
know.
does actually.
So
Wait,
it manages to do 5 points of damage with its jaws. It's one of its teeth bites into you. You manage to slip away, but it just scrapes down your back like a razor blade, splitting your armor open and just blood trickling down. And immediately that snake comes from above as you're like, ah! Comes right from above you and attacks. Ooh, that's not good.
For
Like
which
how-
party?
For one of the parties involved.
You asshole.
Let me see here.
Does the grow big make me stronger? Someone help, please.
No, it doesn't. I mean, it lets you.
I'm on death's door here. Oh God.
You have
So,
advantage on
I
strength checks and
tried.
saving throws.
I tried. You know what?
This-
I did 2 different things to that creature.
the
Keep it
snake
together.
head comes up, lashes out at you, Dresden, and the last second bites onto that wolf head, who also lashed out at you, dealing
Fail.
a
Must be crit
sizable
fail.
amount of damage. You see one of the giant sheets of carapace bone just crack in as it just shatters a little piece of its head, and the wolf screams and starts lashing out at the serpent head, which that ram head, because they're all sharing a body, can't really swivel around to attack you because of the 2 of them are fighting.
Saved by the Three Stooges.
Dresden, you see Anders. Anders starts booking it down this pathway. He uses what is that? He uses a double movement to just kind of book it his 50 feet. So he makes it to about there. He runs just as fast as his little halfling legs will carry him. Because you're big, you get 10 extra feet of movement per turn. So what are you doing?
Okay. Good. Yeah. No. I'm just gonna tear ass after him and hope that it doesn't attack me. I'm like the guy that refuses to make more than one trip from the car after buying groceries. I'm just like.
So you're gonna make a dash action?
Yeah. I'm going as far as inhumanly
You can go
possible.
to about there. Yeah, let me just move you all. So you guys run to about here, and you're just booking it, kind of loop around this stone, and
just pass by Kelwise's brother.
yeah,
Just
those heads, because they're fighting with each other, they don't seem to notice you, or if they do, they don't seem to get an attack. And at this point, Cornelia, they're trampling all over your minor image. It doesn't seem like they clocked it at all. It was a nice image, though. They just seem to
Beautiful.
have either smelled that it was not real or sensed it was not real. They seem to be just fighting with each other right now. Trust, what are you doing?
Don't provoke it.
Look, they're
Right now, how's everyone look? Dresden, you're pretty banged up. Bobby, you're pretty banged up, right? With Rezik?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm not doing great.
Yeah, you are all kind of just blown out of a building.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am literally on death's door.
Melissa,
I guess-
was that your first spell, by the way, Melissa?
I guess I did a spell.
No,
You did
she
minor
said
illusion before, right?
she said minor illusion.
It was a minor
Yeah.
illusion.
Oh, did you already have
Yeah.
spells? Okay, never mind.
I just get the minor illusion. I'm like, wait, what does that mean?
Are we looking at this map? Are we kind of hidden from this thing's view by this rock thing?
No, this rock isn't too high. It's only maybe like
Oh,
5
okay.
feet high. And they're standing so high, and especially that serpent head goes maybe 20 feet in the air.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. You're being chased by a 2-story building right now, essentially.
But not currently, because they're
So
distracted.
bad.
Well,
Can
yes.
I? You know, similar how Pup held Bob. Can I hold Vicious Mockery at the ready or no? Because I have to be a physical.
Sure. So like, what's the trigger? Like, so if it starts chasing you, you just start yelling obscenities at it?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, because it's distracted right now, so I don't want to draw its attention to us. But if it does see us,
Fair
I
enough.
want to be able to. Yeah.
Yeah. Cornelia, what are you doing?
I'm gonna just stay at the ready as well, if I
All right.
can.
What are you
Keep
readying?
I'm gonna have 2 daggers in my hand.
Okay. So
Okay.
Cornelia, you pull out 2 daggers and you're ready to just start slashing and
Yeah,
become
I don't know
a
what they'll do, but
vicious whirlwind.
Mhm.
Rezik.
I'm going to ready magic missile if it gets it starts kind of following us. It gets pretty close again.
Okay. Pop.
I have an idea. Put me down.
All right. He's not really holding individually any of you. Like you could probably just hop
Basically,
off. Yeah.
I'm
I
doing like
am
baby
going
cradle arm.
to turn into a Kodo.
Okay.
I'm going to run towards the beast as far as I can,
How many
and
feet
I'm
is that?
going to. My speed is 40.
So about there. Okay.
I really like Pup.
And I'm gonna
You
tell
like
it.
pup?
Liked, yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
Cease this!
All right.
In the most. Wait, how's a Kodo sound?
Yeah, that's close enough.
Cease this!
Roll a performance check.
Okay.
Ooh. Nice. Yeah. Pup,
I'm surprised your mic didn't cut it right there because usually when you go that high, it's like.
Yeah.
I fixed it.
You're welcome for the audio limiters, everyone.
I fixed it so you can hear me screaming.
You rush over to this giant beast and you yell, "Stop! Halt!" And it kind of like cowers away from you initially, and you see the wolf start sniffing the air, but it's not doing anything. It's just sniffing around in the air. And
I
the
should
snake,
smelling him too.
yeah, the snake and the ram also seem to be cowering a little bit.
It's because I'm still wearing the belt. I just untied them, but I'm still wearing his belt also. I think.
I thought you dropped the belt.
I thought that I dropped the animals, but kept the belt.
Oh no, the animals were chained to the belt.
Oh, the end. Then I dropped the belt.
Yeah. So Pup, the thing kind of starts to back down. Its aggressive nature seems to fade a little bit.
Which one of us had his sword or dagger? Did I pick that up?
Cullen had
Did I
picked up
grab that?
that
Yeah,
that
I
knife he
grabbed
was
up
using.
that knife.
Okay.
Yeah.
The like curved one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's probably huge in you now. So if I try to,
Oh
I
god,
would
yeah.
just not even be able to
It's
hold
a sword
it.
now.
Yeah.
Killwise, what are you doing?
I think I still have one spell slot left, so I would like to cast Cure Wounds on Dresden.
Okay, yeah, give me a Cure Wounds.
Sweet.
I'm
Is
gonna
it
roll a
doubly effective because I've got more area to cure?
It's half as effective. You're
Fuck me.
That's a D8, right?
Yeah,
I need to write
plus
that
your wisdom.
Roll a D100.
plus my wisdom and a D100.
No, actually,
Do you
separately,
want that now? Do you want
roll
that
a D100.
now?
It's gonna be the campaign ending roll one of these days. It's
So
like a
that's,
volcano somewhere.
that was a 5 for you, Dresden.
Nice.
Oh, take it. Oh, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, the tooth wound that had scratched up his back and torn out his really the meaty part of his back kind of heals up. The
And a
armor is still
66.
a 66. Okay, yeah, 66. Interesting, Jason. Nice roll. All right. Immediately, that big three-headed beast starts to cower away from you, Pup. And yeah, it seems to really back down. It seems tame. It seems scolded almost, like it just wrecked its entire home, and now it's, like when a dog eats out of the garbage can and it knows it shouldn't, and then you catch it and it's just
Its ears
like,
are just down.
yeah, all three heads are kind of like down and bowed.
Good.
It's not attacking. Yeah, Dresden, what are you doing with this kind of last, you see this, you kind of clock it's not raging and screaming at you anymore.
How far away is the dive, roughly?
The dive is, so you can kind of see down this long hallway coming down over here, and it's a sizable length. You see a whole group over here. There's kind of a group of like miners way off in the distance. Yeah, potential snacks. And then you kind of see that there's like a giant wooden scaffolding, and you can't really see too far past that.
Great. But that's a ways away.
It's
Oh
maybe
my God.
200 feet away.
Woo. I look over my shoulder and Pup is just.
Pup's got her Chris Pratt raptor hands out.
Okay, raptor hands.
Yeah.
Sure. Everyone knows a good raptor hand. I'm a little more a Mick Dundee myself, but same deal. Okay. I guess I just gotta keep running. I mean, I just look at everyone else. Keep running.
Take us further away from that thing. Keep on going.
Okay.
I guess I keep on running. I mean, I don't want to abandon you, but it's like I can't get hit by that thing like again.
So you
Do you know
get
what I
to
mean?
about here, yeah. You make some sizable distance between yourself.
Really?
Give me
Opening up that
a
stride.
Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, that's the other thing too.
And then he's trailing. Anders not quite as fast as you, so he's trying to make his way over there, but
Fair. That's a 15.
A 15. All right. Despite that chaos going on from the core potion you just drank, you heal 2 hit points.
Oh.
Okay.
Ho ho, dear reader. Not Bobby Dice. Great. Good news.
And things seem to settle down quite a bit. I mean, the beast sees you, Dresden. You look over your shoulder and you see it's like that snake head is up, looking at you,
Like a periscope.
just watching you. Yeah. But it also is like looking at.
As soon as I see him move, I'm gonna yell at him again.
Okay, yeah, you
Like
yell
a-
at it.
like a
Kind of
second.
backs off, very like childlike.
Mhm. Good.
Pop, what are you gonna do with this basically newfound control of this thing, seemingly?
Sit.
Bold
Okay.
move.
You yelling sit?
Uh-huh.
All right, you yell sit, and yeah, you yell at it, and it cowers, like it's being scolded. But you can see there's no recognition. It's not like you necessarily it understands commands. Maybe like.
Do I remember like seeing a Kodo do anything with it, talking to it while he was unchaining it? As because I was watching him unchain it.
No,
Before I-
he didn't really do anything. He might have like training tools on his person, but you guys really didn't see anything.
Got it. I'm gonna whistle over for my sister.
Okay, yeah. So you whistle over, and still attached to that chain, you see the two, the dog, that extra dog, the empty chain that was ripped off by the manticore, and your sister kind of come walking very.
And I wink at my
hesitantly.
sister.
Yeah, and your sister kind of looks at
No.
you. Let's see if I can tell.
I do the good old.
Yeah, she seems to really take you in for a second and then walk up. And it seems like she's with the plan that you're
Okay.
doing.
I'm gonna put the belt back around myself, and then be like,
Okay.
"Yo,
yeah, and you feel
the
those
dog is
needles
me."
prick back into your skin. They're not long, but they're uncomfortable.
Okay. And then there's now an empty chain, right?
Well, the chain was kind of ripped off, so the chain is short. Like
I
maybe
want
3 or
to
4.
undo the dog. Can I
Okay.
just like unleash
The
it?
dog's collar, it's actually locked. There's a small little locking mechanism on it with a mini little keyhole.
Can I try to pick it?
You can try and pick it, yeah, but you would need something like some.
I have, like, my
something
dagger.
Specifically, yeah. I mean, you can try, yeah, to just
Yeah.
shove the dagger in there and wrench around.
Mhm.
Yeah, give me a sleight of hand with disadvantage.
Sleight of hand with disadvantage. 13.
13.
Too bad because the other one was 19. The other one would have been 22.
You
Only 13.
you wrestle around with this small lock, and it doesn't seem like you're gonna be able to pick it. And you try, and then you just and you break off something, and the collar just falls off. But it seems like whatever that mechanism is now completely broken inside there.
Butts. Okay, well, I'm going
And
to.
Immediately that dog starts like testing out its newfound freedom.
I'm just gonna shoo it away. Be like, go, live your life. Go.
And it's just like looking at you, doesn't seem to understand. Just sits down.
Okay. Can I send him over to the group?
You can point to the group. I mean, you can try.
Yeah.
How do you send him over?
Go.
Yeah, you point at it. Its head kind of goes, like, you know how it starts to go, but its eyes won't leave your hand. Like,
Yeah. Be like, go, go,
huh?
go.
And it stands
No.
up, wagging its tail. spins around. It does a little circle and looks back at you.
I pet it and I give it a kiss.
This dog is liking this.
Okay.
You immediately you kind of look over, and that serpent head and that ram head are trying to look around you. They got a beat on Dresden. Dresden, what are you doing? Are you still continuing down that path?
Yeah, I mean at this point, yeah,
Okay.
just
So
bar.
you guys
I'm
kind of
lengthened my stride. I'm really getting it, you know.
Yeah, you guys kind of make your way over here, and you see 2 Ashen Riders and a whole gang of the White Ones who miners, just right here. And you see 2 Ashen Riders, and they're both kind of like wide-eyed, looking at that beast down, and it's clear they have like stopped, and they're like not gonna go forward. And they see you, gigantic Ashen Rider, and they're kind of like
just screaming.
They kind of back down.
Move, bitch! Get out the way!
Okay, so yeah, you see them kind of part the seas, proverbially. They just kind of, these guys kind of move this way, and she jumps off. She kind of jumps off this cart, gets off there, and then these guys just kind of move. Oh, the cart's gonna go with it. Whatever. They kind of move out that way. Are you just gonna run through?
Yeah. I mean, if I've got the room, yeah.
Yeah. So you run all the way over here, and there's 2 more Ashen Riders, both trembling. They don't know what's going on. There's these sounds coming from echoing, and they're like, "Crap, we didn't make it to the Lowe's barracks before he released his pet." And you see them, like, you yell, "Get out the way!" And these guys just kind of go into hiding over here around this rubble. And,
what does it look like over here?
You run up to this plank, and you just see this massive hole with the scaffolding just wrapping around and around in all manner of
down?
matched. Yeah, and it spirals down. It looks like it was meant to spiral down, but at some places it's broken off, so they've made like ladders. It's really just this like rickety ragtag group of things.
It's like Gringotts. There's just like loop-the-loops for no reason and shit like that.
Yeah, and the air here is really still. There's no currents, there's no wind, there's no air moving. It's just deadly still. That's what you see when you get over to here. And this is what they had described to you as the Daye, of where they mine the edges of this chute, and that's where they find all the core that they've been giving to the kingdom.
Okay, I'll just put everyone down. Just carefully.
Yeah.
Away from the edge.
Give me another Constitution saving throw. How long does that potion last?
It said 1d4 hours, and I rolled a 4.
1d4 hours?
That's what it's a potion of growth?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh man, you're gonna be big when we leave this place.
When you drink this potion, you gain the enlarge effect for 1d4 hours, no concentration required.
Okay.
Yada, and then it's
what did you roll?
What it looks like. A 4.
A 4.
Yeah,
total?
So not very helpful for hiding. I rolled a d4 and I got 4. So.
Oh, sorry. I meant like your Constitution save.
Oh no! That was a natural 3. So that's gonna be a 7.
All right. Well, you take 1 point of damage as this potion racks your body with just pain and suffering.
Yeah.
You're back over there. You're connected to your sister still through that belt, and that manticore seems to be kind of losing its. Not like it was afraid of you, but it felt like shamed and scolded, and very quickly you see its demeanor is starting to change to be more playful or inquisitive.
Really?
Yeah, but, with its size, playful, like a cat. A cat can be playful, but when it's playful with, like, a tiny mouse, it's not quite the same dynamic.
It wants to play?
Maybe. Yeah.
Puppet's going to go over to it and put the hand up to the wolf head.
Okay. Yeah. So you walk over and you put the hand on the wolf head, and
Like on its nose.
yeah.
And I'm gonna try to use like a commanding voice to say.
Mm-hmm. You
like-
do that, and it seems to recoil. Doesn't seem like it likes being touched. You kind of clock that. Some animals very much don't like, don't like.
Then
to be...
I'll go to each and try to like
James, for instance.
put my hands on the snoot.
You put your hand on the ram head, and it doesn't even seem to like. It's just like, yep, hand is there.
Soft.
It doesn't like it. Doesn't. I mean, the fur itself is pretty coarse. It's pretty thick. It's not soft, but it's horns. These massive, massive horns. You see, there's little barbs on them, and when you clock it, give me a nature check, but with advantage.
Okay. That's good because I have a -1 on nature. 14.
14. You've seen barbs like this before in the wild, and you're pretty sure that these little barbs are probably poisoned or some kind of venom it can like inject with these things. So it's like been viciously altered.
Yeah.
The snake head unfortunately is very high in the air. So like you reach up and it's
I want to say like come, like command it to like come to me.
All right,
I'm trying to use like the most
roll an
menacing.
animal handling. Yeah, roll an animal handling.
Okay. 15.
15. You command it, and the snake kind of slowly looks at you, and then moves down very, very slowly, but
I'm
kinda
giving
like,
it really intense eyes, like the.
Yeah, and it the same is giving you back some very, very intense eyes. I mean, its eyeball is maybe the size of like your head, and so it just kind of moves down to you, and you put your hand on its head, and the snake is just kind of it doesn't seem to have much of a response.
Okay.
Positive
I want
or
to
negative.
get on it.
All right. Yeah. Roll an animal handling.
Great. $19.
Ooh, a 19.
Bobby dice.
You hop up onto this manticore, chimera hybrid. You jump on top of it, and the wolf really seems the least happy about you hopping aboard.
Oh, I'm sure.
But oh my gosh. You do it, and it seems to allow you to do it, even begrudgingly. So you kind of hop up on its back.
I'm gonna try to like grab its like fur or whatever is like on the back to like use as a reins to try to lead it towards the pit, because that's what we were doing, right? Trying to get to go into the pit.
Yeah.
Drop it there. Where were we trying
dive.
to drop it? Sorry. I started going towards the dive.
All
Towards
right.
that.
And just. This thing is hard to ride. I mean, you've ridden all kinds of animals in your day. Some willing, some not. Even for a willing creature, this thing is just. It's rough. But you manage to it just starts trudging along. And it gets to about here. Everyone else, you see it get to about here. And instantly, that wolf head just starts to snarl. And the ram head starts to get very aggressive, like they see all these people as a bunch of snacks. Roll an animal handling check.
Okay. Bobby dice.
Oh god.
12.
12. You pull back and you're like, stop.
Hey!
No. And it would have been enough had one of the girls, one of the women who is a minor, screams and starts running. And the second she starts running, that wolf, it's just all bets are off. And instantly that wolf lunges. Give me initiative, everybody.
Oh, no.
Oh,
We almost made it away from fighting. Almost.
And Pup, give me an athletics check or acrobatics check to try and like hold on as this thing goes
Okay.
crazy.
23.
23. All right, so you managed to hold on. What's everyone else got?
that's a
For,
natural one for a 2.
Natural
19.
1 for a 2. 19
20.
for Kelwise. 20 for Cornelia. Trust, what'd you get?
I'm muted. I got a natural 20 plus 2, so I'm the
Oh.
opposite of
All right.
Dresden.
Pup and Rezik, what'd you guys get?
I got an 11.
11?
7. 7, 11.
Ew.
All right, Trust. Again, you see this thing
I'm just ready to fight.
rampaging towards you. I know you guys had your
Nobody.
actions kind of already planned out or you're stunned, but you guys are over here, right? And Ander, without an S, had run over here, and he's like signaling, like, get onto one of these platforms. Get onto one of these platforms. And we'll have to jump down to the next level, and if we can take out the supports, it'll fall down.
Mm-hmm.
I look at him and I go, "It's got wings, right?"
Does have wings. It might not be able to carry its own weight though. With the wings, we don't know.
Maybe it needs to run and fly, not just take off. Oh wait, it did do that big jump though. Ooh.
Yeah, but that was only a hop, technically.
Yeah.
What would we know? What would I know about?
All right,
Chimera.
Dresden, give me a intelligence, just a straight investigation roll. I guess just investigation, not intelligence. Investigation.
Investigation. I'm gonna investigate this thing. It's the facts, ma'am.
Carfax?
That's a 10. That's a 10, and that
10.
one's getting retired.
It's really a 50-50 in your head. You've actually spent a lot of time watching chickens in your day. Just really like when you were a
Chicken
young kid, you guys had a chicken, and just one of the things you did, you're like, I got a lot of extra time. I'm just gonna watch this chicken. It's so interesting that they can't fly, and you know that like chickens are really light. I mean, you've had chicken for dinner a number of times in your life, and that's how you
It's a
do
light
it.
meal.
They're really light, and the way that this thing's feet hit the ground, it's not necessarily super heavy, but it's not one of those thin-boned birds. And these wings are about the same size as the chickens, so it is a grotesque, perversion of a beast. So it's not natural, but from looking at it, you're pretty sure. You're like it's 60%, 60-40 that.
All right,
it
we
probably
went from
can't
50 to
fly.
60.
Yeah.
I've reasoned myself into 10% higher. Okay.
Voices in your
yeah.
head.
Yeah, exactly. That's just me, like, talking to myself. Like I'm assuming Batman does. Just like, well, Batman, what do you think? Well, I think it's probably cold out here and we shouldn't have worn spandex. Okay.
So, yeah. You kind of, I don't know if you share that with the group or not.
Well, I
mean-
sort of, yeah. I was like, doesn't have wings, and then I just shake my head like, what but chickens? I just say chickens.
Okay.
And we all understand. We're
Right.
like, yeah, of course.
I know
Trust.
chicken.
Trust.
Chicken?
I
You
take
hear,
that as
you hear
it's time to
chicken,
fight.
chicken.
Okay.
Chicken.
So because we were out of combat range, my Bane is no longer cast. Is that how it works?
It lasts for a minute, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it might be on the fritz. It's towards the end. I think you just have to be within range to cast it,
Yeah.
and as long as you haven't cast any other spells that cost concentration, you're
Okay. So I'm still good there.
yeah, the Bane's probably still affecting it.
Okay, then I'm gonna try something, and I'm going to try and get this beast's attention back on Pup, who is disguised as Evil Man, and I will do thaumaturgy,
Okay.
and I will I will try and figure with it that loud. I will try my best to sound as gruff as him and boom my voice to just be like, enough! Hold!
All right. Yeah.
Man,
Roll
he
a
gets it.
performance check, followed by an animal handling check.
Okay, well, the performance was an 8.
Okay.
Oh, wait, performance was 13. Animal handling is 12.
All right. And
So-
you definitely catch its attention. But
Okay.
it does not seem like a positive that you did that.
Sure. And what happened to the vicious mockery I was holding?
Well, it's still not really within range.
Ah, okay.
So you boomed out this thing and it like hears you, almost like a whistle. And that, especially that wolf head, it kind of seems like the wolf directs the body, really. And the other two are just there and they kind of work in tandem, but it seems like the wolf's senses really take over and you yell at it and the wolf kind of just clocks you, starts snarling and starts instantly makes a lunge towards your direction. Anything else you want to do, Trust?
Cry.
Isn't that wolf's mouth full with Minor right now? Like that lady that was screaming and ran away?
No, it didn't attack yet.
Oh, okay.
It's just she started running and it instantly was just like, "Argh," and then you guys kind of reacted to that. Before it
Who
could get there.
is after me?
Cornelia.
I will. I don't know who I want. I want to give someone Bardic Inspiration. Does someone still has Bardic Inspiration from the last? Who did I give it to last time? They didn't use
It was
it.
Pup, right?
Okay, Pup. Okay.
I forgot. Thank you for reminding me.
You're welcome. Are you still big, Dresden?
Ouch.
Yes.
For the
Okay.
next 4 hours, apparently.
That's right. That's right.
I'll be calling a doctor shortly.
If it lasts longer than that, then you're in trouble.
I'll give
You get
I'll
it.
give
works
Bardic
so well.
Inspiration to Dresden because since
Okay.
he's large, I mean, it seems like he could maybe do
All
the
right.
most damage in my head.
Inspire a giant Dresden for me.
Okay. Oh, Tyson, you big log of a man! Fight that thing! You can do it! You're the protector of us all!
Log of a man.
Don't make me do
And it's funny because her vicious mockery and her bardic inspiration sound eerily similar.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
a
not sure
little
if she's being
different.
sarcastic or not.
Yeah, both
Alright,
are a little
oh.
grating.
Do you want to
I'll
move at
throw
all?
in at the end. It's just a chicken!
Nice.
Love it.
Do you want to move
what-
anywhere? Day.
What die is that?
I think it's a D6.
Sorry, Yeah, 1d6.
Okay.
What is it at 2?
1d6 to
To-
attack roll, saving throw.
Skill checks?
Or ability check.
Ability
check, attack roll, saving throw.
Oh. Okay, good.
Okay.
Oh,
There you go.
This can be added after seeing the roll, but before knowing the outcome.
Yes. Do you want to move anywhere, Day?
Where? I'm still on Dresden. I guess I didn't need to yell at him then. I could have just whispered sweet nothings in his ear.
Yeah.
Oh, you big log of a man! It's just a chicken! You've got
I don't know. I
this!
can see Trust still yelling at him only from like
Yeah,
far away.
yeah.
It's just like my
Covering
ear's
my
so
head.
big. Oh,
his
stop.
ear, like,
grabbing my ear.
yelling into
Uh,
it.
you wanna
No,
move anywhere?
I don't want to go anywhere right now.
Okay.
I feel safe on Giant Dresden.
All right. Cool. Cornelia, what are you doing?
So if I can see Pup, does it look like the Chimera is still looking at us, isn't it?
Yeah, the
assume.
Chimera
It still
clock
has all
trusts
attention.
voice in the direction, not necessarily trust herself, but it's now stopped chasing that young woman and is now just heading straight towards you.
I guess I'm just also one question about the pit. Does it look like if the ladder or whatever is going down, if it breaks while we're on it, if we're going down, is there another way? Is there ladders all around that you can just grab on
you'd have
safely,
to-
or would that?
Yeah, there are some ladders. This thing seems to spiral. You'd have to get down underneath to see like really the intricate workings of this. So you can maybe hop down through this mesh to the next level just to look at how it's built, and if you were going to topple one of these things, like which one might be less structurally sound.
Can I maybe actually just is there rope handy? Like, can I try to grab? Can I try to grab the rope and just tie it snugly around Dresden, and then
There's gigantic rope
Do
in
you
my
have
backpack.
rope?
Yeah,
I
we
have
have.
rope.
You got like
Yeah.
170
You guys have rope,
We have
but do you
so
have
much rope.
Well, because I'm on him, right?
Oh.
So I can kind of like do it at the same time, like.
Is it
tied
on you,
around.
Dresden? Are you the one with the rope?
I know I have rope in my backpack. I have 200 feet of fireproof black resin rope that is
Okay.
now gigantic. It's probably like
Yeah.
so
Okay,
big.
I can do
So-
it then.
So no, I mean you can try. You give
Well, I only
me a
hit 10 feet, right? So it's just thicker. It's not
it's,
like
yeah, it's just double.
it's not like gym rope, like
Yeah.
you know. Yeah.
So give me a. So you're gonna run over jump into his backpack. Give me a dexterity, acrobatics, I guess, to like shimmy your way over to his backpack and crawl inside his enormous backpack.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. I'm trying
Yeah, I
to.
can
And
take
do
a
it with
knee
it.
if,
Do it
like,
with do it with advantage because Cornelia has proficiency in crawling into backpacks specifically.
acrobatics.
Cornelia's done that a lot.
Advantage. I have.
Yeah.
Like an acro backpack throw.
So it's
Acrobatic.
17.
17. So you jump into the backpack and you see what does Cornelia see when she jumps into this backpack?
Mainly a grill, mess kit, Kellex studded armor, a big old nasty whetstone, a Kodo's dagger, and about 200 feet of rope and a torch.
Yeah. So you see this
Nothing
giant rope.
comfortable.
You grab onto it and you're gonna crawl out of the backpack now. Give me.
Yeah,
an
I'm gonna.
This is gonna be an athletics check to climb out of the backpack with the rope because the rope is kind of hefty.
Note to self: put the rope on the outside of the backpack from here on out.
Yeah. What the heck, man? Oh. 2.
2. You Dresden, you see Cornelia run in there. She grabs the rope, gets it like up to the top, and just can't quite like. I mean, the beginnings of the rope. She's found it. No one has to go searching for it, but it seems like she's not going to be able to grab it. Kelwise, what are you doing? You see Cornelia grab the rope and stick like the bit of the end out.
Yeah.
Hands coming out of the backpack.
So I wanted to get off of Dresden, and I
Okay.
kind of I almost wanted to say, can I take the cue from the rope and use it to rappel down off of it? But if that's not possible, then I'll just jump
You
off.
can.
But-
You can. No, it's sticking out. You could easily jump over and like maybe use his shoulder as like a counterpoint. to,
Mission
like,
Impossible style.
roll down.
Yeah,
Fine.
because that's
Yeah, sure.
Let's do
Give
that.
me
That seems
give me an
like-
acrobatics check. You grab the rope and that Cornelia's sticking out of the backpack, and you use to rappel down Mount Dresden.
Acrobatics. That's a 19.
Ooh, yeah, it's like the Zorro with the chandelier. You just kind of shunk down onto the other side of him. What are you doing now?
Leaving the rope and everyone behind, I was going to follow Ander and jump down and check out the structural integrity of this.
Okay, yeah. So Ander and you kind of run over here to this mesh where it's a little bit thinner, and you see underneath you a second layer, and then there's a third layer like way down, and it's about a 10-foot drop. So it might be tough, but it's probably your best bet. And Ander starts lowering himself down, gets ready to fall, and boom, falls. Kind of does a little like hits pretty hard, but lands solid, and he motions you to come down.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow him.
All right, roll an acrobatics check as you try and drop down this 10-foot.
What does it
16.
sound like back where Pup is?
16. What?
What does it sound like back where Pup is?
Oh,
Like
you
we're
just-
all like getting
that
off
wolf,
and people
yeah, that
are
wolf
going-
starts snarling and is now chasing you, and it's just chaos. People are screaming.
Okay.
The Ashen Riders are screaming. Everyone's kind of parting the seas even more. So 16.
Just wondering.
Yeah, you drop down. You managed to drop down right next to Ander. You hit hard again. It's 10 feet, which is like 3 times your height.
Thinking though, no.
Yeah. Okay.
Not-
well,
not
like
everybody.
2.5
Not-
times
At least twice my height.
your height. Yeah. You fall and you land. You don't roll off or anything like that. And when you hit the wood, you feel that whole scaffolding just kind of like shake and weave a little bit. Like it'll hold your weight, but like, my God, can you imagine mining for hours on this platform that's just shaking around above basically just darkness? So yeah, you can make it to about there. Pup, you're riding this thing. I keep trying to move it on the other thing. There. You're still riding it. It basically, you guys got the same initiative, so it starts just booking it this way. What are you doing?
I'm going to
Wells?
try to do one last final grab, tug, pull down and tell it to cease.
All right,
I'm
so it
gonna
makes it
try to,
about
like,
here.
Can I take my dagger and put my dagger like
Running away.
like poke it with it? Because I'm trying to think of what
Poke it.
Toto would do.
Yeah. Actually, yes. Roll an animal handling check. I'm gonna roll a stubborn check.
Bobby dies.
I don't remember.
I
that
am
one being
going
mentioned.
to add my bardic inspiration.
Okay.
Uh,
23.
23. You push down with that knife and you try and hold it down, and instantly the wolf head starts to snarl and buck wildly. It stops running forward, but it just starts to thrash around. It seems like you really triggered this beast. You managed to stop it from charging forward, but now it's bucking wildly, trying to get you off of its back. Roll an athletics to try and stay on, or acrobatics to try and stay on this thing as it just starts.
22.
22. Yeah, so it can't buck you off, but it's now wildly spinning around, and you see that snake head turning viciously, and it's now up, looking right at you on its back. It doesn't strike out at you, but it doesn't seem happy
I'm gonna.
by any means.
Do I have any? I'm trying to think of what I can. Is there anything else I could do really? Because I want to like take the knife out and just like make direct. Like I'm trying to like really intimidate it.
You can try like an intimidation, I guess, with a knife. You want to use that knife?
Well, I don't want to like put it in anymore if it's like already angering it. I'm gonna take it out and just like make direct eye contact and try to be like, do you want to do?
All right, make an intimidation with this to the snake. Yeah, you pull the knife back. It doesn't seem to like affect it at all. Then you look up at that snake, and the snake looks at you. And the only word that comes to mind reading its face is food. That's really the feeling you get. And as that thing, Rezik, you see this thing just start to thrash violently, thrashing about. And you see Pup steady on its back, surfing on this chimera, but like, it's not happy. What are you doing?
So the plan that Anders said was basically to like all run to the scaffolding and like try to get it over there, and then like when it comes over there, like all jump away so it like will kind of fall in, right?
Well, they were gonna knock the supports on whatever piece that you decided to get it on. They were going to try and knock the
Okay.
supports out from underneath so that it fell down.
I want to do a silent image, but I just don't think it's going to help right now because it's already.
This thing's enraged. You can try. I mean, depends on what the silent image is and how effective it is.
Yeah.
But remember, this thing has 3 heads, so it's got so many different sensory options, and they seem all connected. It's very hard to fool this thing, I guess.
I gotta tell you, Cullen, you gotta just say what you're saying because I can never read your lips ever, man. I'm so sorry.
It's a gigantic pantomime. Just fucking get down there and go down.
Okay, you got it. I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna get off Dresden and start heading over to the scaffolding. Try to help.
Where Ander and Kelwise are? All right, are you gonna drop down to the next floor? Okay, give me a acrobatics check as you hang down and then try and drop down.
Not bad. 14.
14. You hit and you roll to the side, and the whole structure just right under you because it just took 3 hits, people dropping down on it. And yeah, your leg right through one of those plankings, and the wood hits, bounces way off into the middle of this pit. Impossible for anyone to grab it. If that was a person, it would just be over at that point. You know, there's just that point of no return. It just goes splintering into the middle and then just falls. Falls into darkness. But you manage to, hang on. It's just a plank your leg went through, but nothing else.
How can I help? And that's me.
Okay, cool. Dresden, you've got Trust and Cornelia still.
Slowly realizing that I'm the bait, right? It's slowly dawning on me. It's like, I'm like, get small, be small. Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess, let's see, I'm right there. I guess, I'm gonna do, something that I always do in every campaign. I take the torch out, try and light it. Jurassic Park.
Roll animal handling.
Ooh. Where the hell is animal? That doesn't matter. It's +0. That's a 15.
Ooh, 15. Let's see. It's perception. Yeah. Instantly, you start throwing that fire, and pop to your relief, that snake head just over to the fire, and that ram. The ram just gets furious. Something about this fire just enrages this ram, and the ram throws its horns down, and you see its body, almost like the bones in its neck, just and the ram is right in front now. The wolf head to the side. The ram lowers its horns and starts charging you, Dresden. You gonna move at all?
Okay. So I'm assuming lighting the torch and everything was an action, free action. How much
Yeah. It would have been an action to light the torch.
Okay. Shit.
So you can kind of go like. It seems like this structure you're on right now, this part of the scaffolding is very sturdy. But the planks over here, you don't know, like, they seem to be more shoddily prepared, but it's hard to tell north, south, like one of these guys kind of have to direct you.
But they're, who's up with me? Who's up?
You got Daye and
Trust, you're still with me.
You got Trust and Cornelia with you.
Okay, great. I'm gonna action surge.
Okay.
I'm gonna action surge, and I'm gonna take the rope out of my bag, and I'm just gonna try and like throw it around me, and then throw the rest of that at them, and just go tie it.
Oh my god!
All right, and are you moving?
And then I'm just gonna go slowly back up right to the edge, still going.
Okay, yeah. So
I'm
you
dying.
move,
This is it, guys.
you move right here. That rope
You're
is
living
just kind
on
of
the
sitting in a
edge.
pile right here for you,
Literally.
Cornelia and Trust. That's what's happening, and this beast makes a beeline for you.
Oh no, it's right after me. I'm glad I action surged at least.
It moves. Cornelia, you just... it charges in a straight line. Hup, roll a acrobatics check to try and stay on this thing's back.
Well, if I see where it's going, I'm gonna want to do a sick, nasty backflip off of it.
Okay. Do a sick, nasty backflip. And where do you want to... Do you want to wait towards
I wanna
the
land-
end of its move, or towards the beginning of its move?
I want to land like right where the mouse is right now, like right where I am right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's kind of near where Cornelia and Trust are. I want to.
Well, that's where
Off
it
right there.
ended its move. So if you're going to do a backflip off of it, you'd have to be somewhere back behind it a little bit. You couldn't really do a flip to the other side, only for the sake that it's moving this direction. You'd have to be in its wake somewhere.
Okay. And then I'll be like right behind where its butt is right now.
Okay, yeah. So you kind of do
At the very,
backflip
very end
right
of its
there.
move.
Well, roll a athletics check.
A dope
Or,
a sick, nasty acrobatics.
Acrobatics, yeah.
It's got to be a Barney Rubble like slide from head to tail.
22.
All right.
Keep rolling 17s
22.
on Bobby's dice. Bobby,
Nice.
did you like break these?
I think Bobby put all the
No.
good into one set of dice.
Yeah, send them. Never mind.
I'm just kidding. Trust. You are about 1/2 second away from getting trampled by the biggest, largest thing you've ever seen
Sure.
in your life.
Uh-huh.
Oh, sure.
Well, can I get out of its way?
Yeah. You're gonna run it. Which way are you going?
I would like to go, if I'm facing it, I'm gonna go to the left.
Okay. Like up this way?
No, like, yeah,
Okay.
like that.
like there?
there. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to, I'm gonna cast, do I know if my Bane is gone now?
Your Bane probably has one more
Okay,
round.
okay. Because I don't want to prematurely end it. I'm going to... Can't do anything useful right now.
Yeah, you see Dresden mouthing this to you.
Tie the rope! Tie the rope! I search for rope. Do I see rope?
So he threw
He
a
threw a rope
giant
at you.
thing of rope kind of like
Oh.
your feet.
At my feet. I'll take the rope.
Okay,
I don't know what
you
he wants
grab
to
the
do
rope.
with it.
We'll retcon that you grab the rope and you start running up into this direction. There's some rocks over here. There's a whole bunch of barrels. There's a big old mine cart. Like all these things, and it's 200 feet, so you might be able to just keep winding it around things depending
Are we
on,
trying to trip it? Like, I'm sorry.
No, it's tied. It's tied to Dresden. So it's like if he gets knocked off this thing, he doesn't want to go down.
Okay. I tie it to the sturdiest looking thing I find.
All right, so you grab it. You kind of move. You can probably get to about there with your movement.
Okay.
since
Oh, yeah.
You can't really get any farther than that. So you just got the rope, and you're just like,
I'm
"I
holding
got it.
on."
I'm gonna go. All right, Cornelia. You see Trust.
Can
Pick
I,
that up. You are like,
Hold vicious mockery.
well, it would appear to be your action to grab that rope and then run
Oh,
all
okay,
the way
yeah,
over
never
here.
mind. Okay, that's
Um,
fine. That's fine. That's fine.
But I guess it's a roll an athletics check to see how much effort it takes you to do this.
Takes the tiny tiefling to get
Yeah,
this
to hold because this rope
enlarged
is like
rope.
it's
12.
400 rope. 12. Yeah, so you manage it. Yeah, you could probably throw out a vicious mockery if you wanted right
Okay.
now.
Okay. I want to hold it though, if I can, because
Okay.
I don't want it to run
Sure.
off towards me. We're trying
Sure.
to get it.
Yeah. So you hold your vicious mockery in, waiting for it to get closer to Dresden before you mock it.
Yeah.
Cornelia, what are you doing?
I'm also gonna run with the rope and just
So you
when
run
she
after,
ties it on something, I'm gonna also
run after there,
try to tie it on as much as I
and you
can
can
as well.
dash as a bonus action. So you could probably grab the rope and start tying it to something if you wanted to. What do you want to tie it to?
How big are the mine carts? Is that the heaviest thing you think?
The minecart looks pretty sturdy. It's maybe a 15 by 10 foot. It's a huge minecart. It's just laying on the ground though. It's not really anchored into anything, but it could help. I mean, that could be the first thing you tie it to. There could be.
There's not a
bunch of
tree
things.
or anything. There's
a
not
rock
a big
right
sturdy...
here, and there's a rock
How
right
is that
here.
platform up there?
They
Are there
don't
like things
You
on
know, I
the
was
platform?
gonna ask that too, but
On the platform.
right, the thing that Dresden is standing on.
Yeah, this thing is pretty sturdy. It seems like if you got over in this area, you might be able to start tying it within in between the gaps where they're jumping. They're jumping.
But I'd
through.
be in between.
But you might be right in the
between.
line of the
Yeah,
charge.
yeah. And so does what looks heavier to me? I should know, right? Does the rock
Roll
the
an
rock easy?
investigation. Roll an investigation check right
Okay.
now.
I should know, man. 14.
14. The mine cart, the cart to its right, and these two rocks seem like your best bet. Now, you can't tell how deep these rocks go into the ground. They seem to go under, they seem to be embedded in the floor somehow. But you can't tell how deep. Sometimes you pull back a rock and it's almost on the ground layer.
Who's this random person by this cart up here?
That's just an Ashen Rider who's hiding.
Oh, shoot. Oh, but he's wearing ashen. Okay, I'm gonna run toward that guy. Oh, wait. Enemy, right?
Hold this.
He doesn't seem like he's gonna attack anyone. He just seems incredibly terrified.
Okay, maybe I'll run toward him and just say, help try this off, maybe, or just try to do it myself.
Okay, so you run up and you yell, help, tie this off. Roll a persuasion check. This guy's
It's for an Ashen Rider. It's for his friend, so hopefully that counts for
I
something.
am dressed as a giant Ashen Rider.
Yeah.
You said a persuasion?
Yeah.
17?
17. So you're like, tie this right now. And he's like, and he grabs the rope and starts tying it around the minecart with you. At that same time, Kelwise, you drop down, you and Ander drop down and you look and you start looking at the scaffolding underneath here. Give me a investigation check as you start looking around to see if there's a scaffolding that is maybe less secure than the others.
19.
19. All right, you see there's one right here down to the south. It's not super shoddily made, but you may be able to break that one. Or way up here, you see this one? Looks like it's it almost would fall on its own without having to touch much, because it's just rickety and on its last leg. So you have this one or this one that's just kind of looser than the others.
Okay. Let's go with. Oh gosh. Okay, so describe to me. It's like logs and rope. What's holding
so
this up?
it's
exactly?
so there's the platforms are here, and then there's logs that shoot out that have been like pitons have just been shoved into the wall to make triangles. So there's little triangle wedges that are holding this thing up, and one of them's it's almost hanging off the edge, and you can see where the dirt has just been giving way on the kind of support. So it might just fall on its own. And this other one just looks looser. It doesn't look necessarily broken.
Yeah.
So it's up to you. Yeah. You just need to call up to Dresden.
That being said, the scaffolding that we're on, does it look more precarious in one direction than the other?
The part you're on right now looks solid. The little weaved portion is nailed into the back of the rock face. So there's no way That's not going to go down.
Okay.
On the lower part?
Dres-
On the lower level?
No, on the part you're standing on. The part Dresden's
But he's on the
standing
lower level, right?
Yeah, I meant
Yeah.
on the lower level. Do any of the parts on the lower level
On the
look
part that
like
you're on, it's
Yeah.
hard to tell because you can't really see
Rezik's
underneath
leg
you.
went through it, right?
Yeah, Rezik's leg went through it, so it's like this whole thing, and the whole thing is kind of shaking. The top layer is a lot bigger, and then the layers that go down, they seem like they've been remade. When you see just patchwork of wood and different supports that people have done to make makeshift passages or such. Yeah, it's probably the most unsafe ride Disneyland has ever opened.
Okay, so I feel like my decision would be go with the sure thing, so which is to the north, correct?
Yes, it would be around this bend right here.
So I'll yell up to Dresden, Dresden, send him north,
Okay.
and
are
let's
you
head
guys
over
gonna
there
head?
and position ourselves, yeah, so that we could, destroy the scaffolding.
All right, for sure. So you guys make it, and you have 25 feet of movement.
Yeah.
So you head about there. You're underneath. We'll pretend, Rezik, I'm accidentally moving you.
Okay.
Here. All right. So you start running around here to that piece that's up here. That's really you're absolutely sure it's gonna fall. Pup, you just did this backflip, beautiful landing. 10 out of 10. What are you doing?
I mean, can I go over and just grab onto the rope and put both feet up onto the bottom and just hold it just in case?
Sure. So where are you gonna go?
Where it's tied to the rock, if possible.
Well, it's not tied to the rock yet. It's tied to the cart up here.
Oh, I thought that Trust tied it around the rock.
Trust had just run over there. She hadn't tied it to the rock yet.
I'm going to wrap it around the rock.
I was a trust anchor.
Yeah. So you run over there. You start tying it to this rock. There's just so much rope that like everyone's tying it in different
Very
sections.
Princess and the Bride, when they're, not the Princess and everything, but you know what I mean, when it's at the top of the cliffs of insanity.
Yeah. All right. Rezik, your leg is dangling over
So
what
doomed.
looks like
Inconceivable.
pure the abyss, the definition of the abyss in desolation.
Tight. Yeah, I'll just try to get secure, and then I'll try to head over and help Kelwise and Ander.
Okay.
Would they require my help, or am I just going to be
Pop your leg
in
out?
the way at this point?
I mean, it couldn't hurt.
Okay, then I'll go over there.
All right, yeah, and you just run over, and you're a little bit faster than them, so you can kind of make it. Do you want to pass them up, or do you want to just stick with them, kind of as a unit?
I will pass them up if we're all heading in the same, because we're all heading to like one beam to take it out,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You don't
Okay.
quite know which one, but apparently
Yeah,
Kelwise
I'll
is
head-
like that one.
I'll
there.
I'll go over there. I'll go as far as I can, and then I'll also take my. I have like one of those metal rods still from when we were in that the wagon cage in the beginning. So I take that guy out. I'm gonna just get ready to knock that pole out if I have to, or whatever I have to do.
Perfect. So
And
Dres,
just kind of wait.
you and this thing are stuck in this battle of battle of chicken, technically. Haha. Get it?
Great. We're playing chicken. You
Roll roll another initiative. Just a separate initiative, because this thing also rolled a 1. So
Yeah, but mine was a natty 1+1.
well,
I don't know what its initiative was. Oh, that's a 7.
a 7.
I think I need to use the. I
barely go first.
I'm holding on to it. I keep it. I keep the inspiration. I
You
keep it.
keep it. Yeah, it's charging at you. Ram head down.
Okay, they said go north.
Yeah.
I just look over to Trust and Pup and Cornelia, and I just give the
And she salutes you back.
Oh no! I give the old commission. I give the commission salute. I finish basically. I wrapped it around me. I finished just sort of tying it off, and I just start sprinting to the north, right where I'm supposed to go, right where I know it's gonna get just real dicey. Making sure that it's following me towards that really rickety part.
So you can make it to about right there with your extra movement.
Where is it rickety?
You don't know. It seems like this thing is kind of.
This
thing is kind of. It's not great. You stepped off of that one initial scaffolding, and you're like, who would ever step on this thing? This is crazy.
Okay. Okay.
Just because it sways underneath your feet.
You said I go just barely before it?
Yeah.
Is it like right on my heels?
It's gonna turn. Yeah, it literally pivots as you run, and it's catching up to you quickly. You're probably not gonna be able to outrun this thing.
Okay. I keep doing the stupid flare over my head.
Yeah.
I get to basically as far as I can before it's gonna get me, and I just fucking dive right off the edge, hoping that it follows me. Thinking back to how proud that guy that we bought this rope was. We bought the expensive rope. Okay.
We could set it on fire too, and it would be fine.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
We spent
Flame
so much
retardant
money
rope.
on this rope.
I was told this was strong.
This thing comes charging at you. The ram head, those barbed horns, just go, and it is like inches from your face at the back of your head as you go whoop, off the edge. And this thing screeches to a stop. The whole scaffolding just thunders. Roll a athletics check, Dresden.
Right.
And it will as well.
Super. Oh, I gotta retire that one. Okay, athletics.
You have your inspiration.
That is 22. Should I use it? Yes. Okay, I'm just gonna use it. Fuck it.
You land on your feet.
23, 24, 26. 26.
All right. Let's
26.
see. Let's see how this rope holds.
Come on, rope. I was
No,
told
rope
it
has
was
inspiration.
good rope. I was told it had
So,
strength.
right before your eyes, up, that rock is just ripped out of the ground.
Can I
And
like
right in
reaction grab it?
Sure. Yeah. Roll a dexterity saving throw. And
The minecart?
Cornelia, the minecart starts sliding. Just before your eyes, that Ashen Rider just clunk is smashed by this cart and crushed underneath it as it just drags over this guy's body and starts
Friction.
sliding. What did you get, Pup?
22.
22. So you grab this rock and you dig your heels and then start pulling, and it seems like the combination of Pup holding the rock and this heavy minecart managed to slow, but not before Dresden drops maybe 40 feet down. Just boom, and you grab the scaffolding,
jumping.
and the entire scaffolding, everybody on the scaffolding, just the whole thing goes. So everybody on the scaffolding roll an dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity.
5.
Yeah.
Oh no.
12. So not great.
Is that 13?
13, and then
What was that 26 roll for? Was that just like to see if you were able to dive, or what was that for?
I think it was whether it got me or not.
Holy shit! Okay.
That happens. The whole thing shakes, and you guys drop down. You grab on, and out of the corner of your eyes, Kelwise, you see this familiar face start to fall in slow motion as Ander starts to topple off the side. And that's where we're going to leave it for break.
Featherfall.
We're going to break.
Okay.
When we come back, we'll figure it out. We're back, everybody. How's it going? Dresden, you're hanging off the edge of basically the universe. You're just right at the end.
Now I understand why the Dresden emote is crying. I get it now.
You knew.
Yes.
It's all coming together.
It wasn't the
Yeah.
X at all.
You're hanging off the edge. Above you is this giant beast rampaging. And as you look up, Dresden, you kind of notice it's like clawing at the ground. Maybe it ran a little too fast. And its body is not a small amount of its body. A large piece of its body is kind of hanging off the edge, gripping that rafters above you. And it manages to hold on, but its back legs start off the edge, and it's gripping and it's clawing at the ground right now, or at that wooden scaffolding that we can see.
Okay.
Right above
Okay.
you. So if you look here, it kind of just attacks and then slides off right above you as splinters of wood start falling down onto your head.
Oh my god. Okay, can I see anything that Okay, so the rope technically is probably like hanging straight down, but then heads
Yes.
off over towards.
Yeah. So
Like,
it
if
kind of
were to
got
keep slipping, I would go south
it
a
got
little,
kinked
right?
into like a little area over here. Dresden hanging off the edge. Trust.
Oh,
you
hi.
see-
I'm hanging off the edge.
And I'm about to break.
Trust.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
Pup-
you-
Pup really got dragged over to here with that stone. And you saw them get wrenched with the thing. This guy got just decimated by this thing, and Cornelia, you kind of hopped out of the way as this cart slid down the edge, and it's not stable. It's still sliding ever so slightly every time the string rocks a little bit. Dresden, you've managed to grab the edge of this rafters, and Kelwise, you have just seen your brother, who basically you went through all this to go and get him, and he is now just heading off into the abyss. But first, Trust, what are you doing? You see that Chimera's hanging off the edge.
So I have a question.
Mhm.
So thaumaturgy, I can create harmless tremors in the ground, right? But if I created it on this unstable platform, like the tremors are harmless, but could the platform still be affected? Like if it shook, like it's weak and it might.
So the tremors themselves wouldn't hurt somebody, but if you were like, on a feather's edge, those tremors would definitely send you over there. So you can
Okay.
try.
And yes, okay, so I'm gonna cast it on the platform it's on, because no one else is on that platform.
Okay, well just remember the
how
whole
far
thing
is
is
that
kind
from
of
me?
ragtag together, so you really
Sure,
wouldn't be able to
but-
hit just one piece. You'd have to like really shake the whole thing.
Okay, but with where the three others are on the platform, it looks like there's still, the platform's there, but it looks like it's not
So-
quite over nothing yet. Or
Yeah,
am
so
I
these
misreading
three
the map?
are down a floor,
Yeah.
and then this thing is hanging off the edge. Dresden is hanging off the edge. This scaffolding is purely over this black edge. The edge kind of starts here of this giant pit.
Okay, so they are in a dangerous place.
They are in a place where if this were to fall, they would go with it for sure.
Oh, God damn it. You guys, get out of the way.
But I mean, they're down a floor, so you might be able to just shake The top rafter? You don't know. I mean, like, it's a gamble, but it might be worth a try to send it off.
Is the orientation on the map right, or is it facing Dresden's, or is it butt facing Dresden?
Its butt is facing
The side.
Dresden. It's like hanging off of the edge of one of these.
Okay,
platforms.
fine. I'm gonna cast Dancing Lights finally, and just like swirl it around its head, trying to get it to like swat and generally
What
flail.
What head are you? Just all three?
All of them. I cast 4 of them
Okay.
when I do it.
Yeah. Let's see. The ram and the wolf don't seem affected by it, but the snake seems to quickly start following the light around and start snapping at it. Just
Stupid snake. Perfect.
Sneaky snake.
anything else?
Snake.
Like a right.
I'm just gonna yell at those 3 to get off the platform. That's not how I sound. Get off the platform.
All right, Dresden. I forgot. You got to roll a Constitution saving throw. Before we continue.
Come on.
We're
Kill me,
wondering.
Smalls. Hey, not so bad. I'm gonna memorize these someday. On save.
Mhm.
17.
17. That energy that could go either way seems to go in your favor this time, and you heal 4 HP.
By the way, James, I was gonna say like when Andrew started to fall, I was gonna use a reaction to do feather fall.
Okay, well, he hasn't fallen yet, per se.
Oh,
He's
okay.
just kind of like, it's that second freeze frame where he's like, he is going off. But,
Okay.
yeah, he's not falling yet,
You
but
have
you
to-
could definitely throw out a reaction. Feather fall, you said?
If he falls.
Yeah, well, he's about to go over the edge. So, like, yeah, we'll save that for when he's actually, like, you know, it's still that second in between. Cornelia, this minecart is sliding across the ground in front of you. What do you want to do?
Is there more rope, I assume?
Yeah, you could maybe try and go tie it to something else. It's going to be
Yeah, I'm
much
just gonna-
harder just because it's, like, in motion right now.
Yeah, I need to try though, because he's still sliding. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna try to do. Yeah, I'm gonna try to tie the end of the rope still
To, like, one of these
on
carts.
something. Yeah,
That's
on,
probably the
on the
closest
closest
thing.
card.
Yeah,
or,
roll a sleight of hand check to see if you can do this while the rope is like, you know, like when rope is getting pulled out into like the ocean, it's just like that's kind of what's happening.
I got a 10.
A 10. All right, yeah. So you managed to get it tied to the cart to the point where it's holding and it's pulling the weight of the cart, and as it goes and the rope is pulled taut, that cart slides just a little bit and it stops. And Dresden, you're holding on, but you were like sliding down this thing with the energy, and you feel yourself come to a halt. Approximately 50 feet above you, just wood splinters just coming flying towards your face as this thing is clawing around. Kelwise, roll a dexterity saving throw.
Blow on him. Oh,
You get +5.
yeah. It's still not great. That's an 11.
An 11. It's
Yeah.
not enough. Shoo! Your hand goes out, and only if your arm was just a little bit longer. Anders flying off. Rezik, you gonna trip that?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Okay, so shoot, Featherfall. What does your Featherfall look like?
Okay, so yeah, I just I'll say Nube, and I'll throw a feather, and it will transform into like a bunch of butterflies that fly around him and like gather around and like slowly bring him down over time.
Okay, yeah, so he starts falling slowly, but there's like nothing around for him to grab necessarily. So he's slowly falling, and slow is a.
I mean, it's still 60 feet per round
60
still,
feet
but it's
per
just
round.
he's gonna land slowly though, not hurt
Yeah. So
himself.
Rezik, you throw that up. He starts falling slowly. He falls 60 feet down below you, past where
Do I still have a
Dresden
reaction? Can I use my
is.
reaction?
to like swing over. He's about right with you. So on your turn, you might be able to swing over. Are you gonna try and swing and grab him?
Well, there's a thing that I did once before that I want to try and do once again. I want to think big fucking axe and just get that axe to appear in my hand once again, like I did that one time.
Okay.
And just stick it out in his direction because it's effing huge now.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that'll have to be on your turn.
Okay.
Pop.
Good.
It's the BFA instead of the BFG.
That's what we should call it, is the BFA.
The BFA.
Pup, are you gonna just continue to hold this? It seems like you've dug your heels into the ground, and it's stabilizing this rope, and you're pulling with all your might, and that's like you're part of the chain of that seems to be holding Dresden firm.
I will.
Okay.
I'm holding on.
Rezik, what are you doing?
Okay, so
Oh, so we're doing the same.
well, so Ander is falling, but he's falling slowly, and we'll
He
be
fell.
safe when
Well,
he
he fell
lands.
60 feet, so he's still falling
but still,
pretty quick.
But still, when he lands, the spell says when he lands, he'll gently hit the ground. He won't
That's
smash
if
onto
the
the
spell
ground.
lasts long enough for him to get to the bottom.
That's true. Okay, but he's 60. He's like 60 feet away from me, though, or how far is he away
He's
from me?
60 feet down below you.
Okay. Well,
He
I
fell-
can't do anything about that, though, unfortunately. So yeah, but above me, well, I don't have any spells that can help him at that point.
I can just hear you saying that, like turning the other way. Well, nothing I can do about that, unfortunately.
Well, he's on his own.
Yeah.
All right. And I look up and I just see the chimera above me is still trying to hang on, right?
Yeah. It's
Rezik wouldn't actually say that.
Scraping. Everybody, Rezik wouldn't actually say that. All right. What are you doing?
Oh, okay. So yeah, but it's above me, though, right? The chimera.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's actually almost the difference between the platforms is only 10 feet. Half its body is hanging off, so its body is almost head level with you. Well, its hindquarters.
Could I try to look up and see the chimera struggling and try to? I can't do that anymore. Oh dang, I forgot.
I mean, you do see those the supports of the structure that it's on start to whine a little bit and creak. Those
Yeah.
boards, they're pretty steady, but if you would manage to break one off, it would probably go falling in. It's not a sure thing. You'd have to really break this thick piece of wood.
Yeah. Can I use my high intelligence and try to decipher which pieces are really good to hit right now that would possibly
Sure, roll an
knock it
investigation.
enough so he'd fall. Okay, great. Investigation. Great. Okay. So that's 16.
16. Yeah, you find the structures are pretty taut. Breaking one of the beams that's holding it up is probably the worst idea, but if you were to break the wooden panelings holding them together in the middle of this platform, you might be able to cave in just the middle of this one particular piece, and it would fall straight through.
Great. Okay. Can I whack that with my metal rod, or do I have to hit that with a spell?
5, 10, 15,
Too far away.
25, 30. Yeah, you actually have just enough room. You can run over there and you can whack it. But your intelligence shows that you might not be strong enough to break this. I mean, this thing holds giant carts full of ore. So
Okay,
it's sturdy. This is probably the easiest place. to break it. And not only that, this thing has been clawing its giant, massive talons into this board, so you're like, it's pretty torn up already. If I can loosen its grips, really. You're not trying to make the platform fall. You're just trying to make it lose its grip.
Okay, then yeah, I'll try. I guess I'll shoot a firebolt at the location that I'm seeing.
Okay.
Probably a bad idea.
Roll an attack.
I don't have anything
advantage.
that wouldn't do any fire damage.
Roll an attack.
Okay,
advantage.
I'll do fire. Okay. Okay, so that's 21.
21. Roll damage.
Okay, that's a 10 damage.
All right. So this platform starts to burn, and that ram head starts to just freak out and shake violently, and this platform starts to shake back and forth. Dresden, roll an initiative versus this thing.
Damn you! I would like to note that the salesman told me the rope was fireproof. We paid extra for that.
It was flame retardant.
I have fireproof written down, so I'm going with that.
Well, that's what he said. Right? You guys never tested it.
We tested it. We did test it.
We did test
I
it.
tested it.
But you didn't test it recently. I mean, how long does that resin last?
Oh my god!
Geez, what's the warranty run on? Yeah, come
It's
on,
been a
man.
few days. Come
The fact
on.
that it's
Alright,
actually coming up is pretty fantastic.
Initiative?
Mm-hmm.
Did you say? Yeah, 8.
Ooh. Dresden goes first.
That one gets retired. Oh, you big clumsy fuck. Yeah, so I'm just gonna reach my arm out towards Ander, singular, and just fucking big fucking axe. Come on.
All right. So, what does that like process look like?
It's so like I'm still in this core half fever dream, right? It's just me like literally being like the power of positive thinking, just like looking at my hand and thinking big X. It's just a big X, and that's where it belongs, right in your
All right,
fucking hand. Just you can. It's right there.
And how does it materialize in your brain? Like, what is that? Does it just fade in?
No. It's full on Nightcrawler. It does the whole like bamf, and it smells like brimstone.
Cool.
Okay. So yeah, shoof, brimstone, giant axe, holding out right under Anders. Oof, Anders doesn't know up for down, but he manages to grab this axe, and you can't hold your arm out that long, right? Because you're also holding on, and it just goes shoof like a pendulum and swings
Yeah.
down
And I just
underneath
want to
you.
use it and try and like scoop him back up the far side.
Yeah. All right. Give me a strength check to see if you can even lift this thing with one arm up.
And he is a halfling, so just putting it out there.
True. Well, I don't have to lift it.
He weighs
I
less
just
than the
have to
axe.
hold on to it.
Yeah. If you're gonna try and like lift him to one of the platforms underneath you,
I'm just
you'd
gonna
have
try
to-
and like accelerate it so that it will like swing him. Do you know what I mean? Golf swing.
okay. Yeah.
Uses
All right. Give
momentum.
me athletics then. Give me an athletics
Okay,
check to see if
okay.
you can use
Tai
this
Chi.
momentum.
Oh, that's not great. That's an 11. That one gets retired.
11.
too.
All right. So you swing
retired dice.
and it you kind of
The problem is you're not rolling the same dice. You got to roll the same dice or to get.
One
Yeah,
each. That's all you get.
statistics.
You get one each.
the axe, while it's twice as big as it was, it's 8 times as heavy. So you lift it up and it's not great. Oof.
I have the.
Ander,
I have
uses
it tied to me.
looks at you, and just
Can I-
whoop, jumps off onto a platform below you. He manages to land
Thank God.
because
Yes!
there's hundreds of platforms down, like hundreds of rings. This scaffolding goes down deeper than you can see. It just goes down. There's
God.
a sea of this scaffolding around. Anders, maybe 70 feet below you, jumps onto a rafter, grabs on, and just hugs one of those posts that's in the wall. You can't really see him after he goes in, but he's holding it. And yeah,
long as I
Kelwise,
don't
you
see him
clock.
come back out,
Yeah,
I'm
Kelwise, you
golden.
clock that. You clock him. He makes it onto one of the platforms, And that's when you see it, Dresden. You like, I've been looking down, I've been looking down, I've been looking up. When you hear a snap, this crack, that thing starts falling straight down onto your face.
It's a very strong rope.
Roll
It's
a
a-
strength saving throw. Because you're not just holding onto the rope, you know, you're also holding onto the scaffolding. But roll a strength save. This thing is coming straight for you.
Come on. Come on. I should have saved that inspiration.
Oh no.
Oh no, that's a 9.
Also roll a Constitution save
Oh God.
for that potion.
14.
14. That's enough. You heal 1 HP.
Great.
Right before
I can feel
thing-
great while I die.
Did you switch it?
It falls. It smashes into you. Your grip breaks off. Its claws tear into your back to try and hold itself up.
No.
One doesn't latch. Second one doesn't latch.
Come on.
The wolf head bites out, and it bites air. Right behind you. You see you and this thing go into a free fall, and it falls out into the middle of this giant abyss. It starts
Wrap that rope
flapping its
around me.
wings. It's trying, and it's slowing down, but then it can't quite, and then it starts to take a dive straight into the ground. But Dresden, you also are now in a free fall. Everyone
Look at
next
the
to that
rope.
rope
We had
is
the rope.
it's just sliding down the extra feet of this thing, and it is maybe not gonna hold. That rock starts sliding. Pup, you start sliding. That mine cart starts sliding. That other extra cart starts sliding. Pup, roll an athletics save.
Okay.
Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Come on, guys.
Athletics, okay.
So it's still around you. You're just still falling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold it.
Yeah.
We're
Oh.
just pulling everything off.
14.
A 14. All right, Pup, you hold onto the rope. Everybody, you get basically one turn at this, one try. Dresden is in free flight, basically falling down, just breaking scaffolding after scaffolding. With his size and his weight, there's just nothing for him. Trust.
That's right.
What are you
I'm
doing?
Huge.
Wait, so we're all trying to grab onto the rope, right? That's what you said.
I
we
mean, you're
got
trying
one
to do
try?
anything you can.
Oh, got it.
Please.
All I can do is try to grab on.
All right, you
the
grab
rope.
on.
Can you
Give me a
inspire any?
I cannot.
Oh no.
give me an athletics save. You run over to grab this rope, and your
Rust
hands.
really needs a sleepy time.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought that was a cantrip.
I have 3 that I can use per like
Oh, got it.
athletics.
Mm-hmm.
21.
21. You grab that rope.
Bobby dice.
Bobby,
Tiny
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Trust, you grab that rope that's moving fast, and you instantly, in your mind, know if you hold on, this rope is going to burn your hands to a crisp. Do you still hold on?
She's fire. She's got protection a little bit, right? Does that count?
Can I tap into my soul energy for extra strength?
Yes, you can.
Soul energy.
So,
Damn.
Trust walks up to this
Uh-oh.
rope, runs over, grabs it, instantly sees this rope sliding through her hands, and that's when you guys see it. You just hear this crack like a depth charge explode. This small wave of dirt flies around her. And for those of you who are looking at Trust, you see these huge claws. Humongous, the size maybe of Dresden's hand, but armored in these plates of black, what looks like ebony. and these claws holding this rope, wings spread out of her back. And that hair that was orangish, fire colored, is now almost literal fire as it just shimmers. And her eyes turn jet black. She grabs onto this thing, and she has this big tail, and the tail just into the ground. Her feet, giant claw-like, almost like greaves, these huge, almost armored with giant talons as well, lock into the ground, and she just, and you see just this immense heat, almost waves of heat flowing off of her, and that rope just stops. Dresden, you feel yourself like, then it's tied to your waist, so it just, let's see. All right, yeah. Luckily,
Hernia rope.
you were facing down, so when it pulled you, your body went this way, not the opposite way, breaking your back in half. Shoo. You stop.
It's a Christmas miracle.
And you quickly kind of scramble to the side, grab on. Are you still holding your hernia axe, or you just like let that go?
Oh no, fuck that thing's gone.
Okay, you drop that thing and it into the pit, and just for a second, the only thing you can hear is this low buzzing sound, just this almost aura-like wave as these shimmering just sparks of energy start flowing off of Trust. Trust, you look around, you're holding this rope, and your mind is on this very singular, focused mission. You don't hear anything, you don't see anything, really. You're just, I must hold this rope with every ounce of my being. And that's what you do. And this rope is taut, solid. Cornelia. What I mean, the initiative order is kind of over. Everyone, you can kind of like.
Dude, the tail in the ground.
Yeah.
Are you shitting me?
Just like hiding behind the cart, like Trust.
Yeah. So Cornelia's like, I'm gonna hide. All right. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm calling down Ander to make sure he's okay. Ander!
Like, I'm fine. You worry too much.
Aw.
You fell.
Yeah.
Thought you were
I'll be
dead.
back up there. Might take me a while though. I'll be up in 45 minutes. And you can kind of clock him, like he has to like wind all the way around to the other side, climb up a little ladder, shimmy over to here, climb up a ladder, go back, climb down a ladder, shimmy over here, come back up. This thing is such
Donkey
a
Kong.
yeah,
Donkey Kong, yeah.
It's exactly
Donkey
like a
Kong.
Donkey Kong level, and he's done it a couple of times.
I
It seems
start
like he
throwing
knows
barrels
where
down.
he's going. Yeah, but he starts making his way up. What are the rest of you guys doing? Pop, you see
Yeah.
you see Trust just wreathed in this energy, and you see that it's just like she's untouchable. You know, she had that string of fate, that destiny in her, and it's not even there. It's like nothing, destiny, fate, none of it can even touch her right now. It's as if she's just forging through space-time as an anomaly.
I just want to go up and just. touch her face.
You get near her, and the heat off of her body almost becomes too intense for you to stand. You can touch her, but even just from 5 feet away, you can tell it's like just this immense amount of heat. All right, yeah, you reach in and instantly, Trust, roll a perception check.
Ooh, okay, what do I add to that? That's going to be a dirty 20.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, wow, that disappeared.
Dear Tay.
So you feel someone touch you, and this immense anger, just rage, starts flowing in. You look up, and you have just pure control of these flames, and just a split second before you just let this flamethrower of energy at this being, you see its pup, your friend, you remember your confidant, and just before that happens, like on the edge, you just hold it in through sheer will. But that anger, that wreathing frustration is still there. And if you weren't holding this rope and it wasn't taking all of your energy to hold it, you're not sure that you wouldn't have just gone crazy and just...
I'm literally the Hulk.
Dresden, you're holding on for dear life. Yeah.
I do that like I'm heavy and I'm not sure if I'm going to damage this floor kind of thing. And will it support me? You said heavy
you kind of
carts,
test it
right?
out.
Heavy
Yeah.
carts?
It seems like it'll hold your weight
Yeah.
where you're
I'm
at.
gonna
And
keep the
you've
rope.
torn like a whole wave of these planks down. So you kind of look up and it's like just like Donkey Kong where you're like, how do I get back up without these pathways? And it's almost like you might have to go to a section and then climb up these things, the sides of these things.
I just
Unless
shout
you
up.
get the rope.
Well, it's still, the rope's tied
Well,
around me.
The
Still.
rope's tied around you, and it seems, from your point of view, it seems rock solid. You could probably climb this rope.
I give it the old like,
Yeah.
and if it seems solid, just head on up.
All right. Roll an athletics save, with advantage because you can use the planks as kind of like footholds and such.
Now I get the 16 and the 17. 22.
22. Everyone kind of using their own devices kind of manages to pop back up on top of the scaffolding. You're now off it. Those Ashen Rider guards, they look like they split. They just left. And you guys look upon the faces of maybe 20 scared, terrified workers. And Dresden, you kind of walk up and see Hulk Trust just standing there. And after a minute of this, Trust, give me a Constitution saving throw. Oh, Dresden as well, Constitution saving throw.
I'm not able to like start backing away, like pulling up the rope up. I don't have the ability to move.
Well, it was like all you could do to keep this super heavy thing from. After the initial shock, you might have been able to pull a little bit, but just give me a Constitution save.
17.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dresden, you
that's-
heal 4 hit points.
Heal 4.
Yeah.
I rolled a 1 plus 1.
A 1. Pup. Trust is looking at you, just directly at you as she's holding this rope because she recognized you, and you start to see that aura start to fade. It starts to fade, and she goes kind of slowly fades back to herself, and you see her eyes just start to unfocus, and she just starts to fall over onto the ground.
Okay, I'm gonna grab the rope.
Dresden's up now.
Oh,
Yeah,
Dresden's
just
up.
go- just
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
he
okay.
climbs up
I
and
catch Trust.
Over.
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
I crest
Trust.
the top.
Real
She
trust
falls over and I'm
fall.
like,
Yeah, there's a trust fall, and you catch her, and everyone, just for a second, you guys kind of just take in the last minute and a half as it's quiet, deadly quiet, except the only sound you can really hear is like as Ander is like running up this thing here and there. You just hear every once in a while.
That's so
I'm
sweet.
gonna get it. Oh, you just go up this ladder over here. All right, cool. Yeah, and it kind of cools down. Everyone is just staring at you from some kind of vantage point. All these miners.
I just sort of squat a little
And pee? Do you pee a little
No.
too?
No, I'm just trying to get to like 6 feet instead of 10.
Like the slouch.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the tall girlfriend slouch.
And it's tough because your shoulders are just massive. It looks like you're in a football gear, but you're not.
So Rezik is concerned, but he puts on his Fred kind of guise and walks over to the crowd of miners. All right, nothing to see here. All the danger's over with. Get back to the HQ. Get out of here. Go, scram. Come on.
Roll a persuasion check. Because it's not that they don't trust you; it's just that they're just scared out of their wits.
Okay.
Oh,
so
there
that's
it's haha.
15.
A 15. Yeah, you managed to wrangle everybody. You're still in your Ashen Rider garb, so like with that imminent threat gone, you still hold some power. They seem to like get their cart together and such, and start marching east down that pathway, southeast-ish down that pathway back towards camp.
I'll turn to
and
everyone
you guys
else.
are basically just alone.
How much time to the lift?
Yeah,
What do we know?
that was gonna be my question too.
That time I understood him for like the first time, I think.
You better hope that lift can take you up there,
Seriously.
heavy boy.
I know. Anybody want a peanut?
Yeah, it's it was like 7 hours ish when you guys had fought that when you guys had gone into the Lowe's barracks where you had fought that Chimera, and this has only been maybe 45 minutes to an hour when you were like running around Akoto's place. You fought the Manticore. So probably
It's been a
another
very eventful hour.
6. It's probably like you probably got about a half dozen hours left before this lift comes up. That's your estimate, right? It's hard to know when it's going to go up and when it's going to go down.
Okay.
So we have a quarter of a day left. Do we take care of Akoto? We've kind of left him back there just unconscious. So
Yeah, let's go double tap that.
I'm gonna go back to my boat to deal. Oh, I'm so mad! And I'm gonna storm back, yelling about how angry I am that they lost my kind. Oh, you're gonna have heck to pay for this. Oh!
Everyone's gone,
I'll
pup.
follow.
They're all...
I'll follow like real browbeat and like who wants Firebolt?
This is your fault. You're gonna get
All right.
You guys are marching back to like the central area.
back to the house
Back
where we
to-
left Akoto.
To what's left
yeah,
of the house.
So you guys get back to the house, and what you notice is there's that, I said, thin iron gate and fence enshrouding this area, but you start to see figures walking around, four-legged figures, all kinds of different figures, and all of the gates seem to be open a little bit. Pup, give me an athletic perception. Give me a perception check.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Who did this?
Perception?
Mm-hmm.
15.
15. Yeah, you're like marching up to this thing, and then you see all these different creatures rolling around, and you see this crab-like creature with like a very swirled shell come up, and it's just staring at you, but you notice in its mandibles, it's got this arm sticking out, this bloody arm, and when you clock it, you're like, oh. And you look down at your arm, it looks exactly the same.
We probably would have stealthed if we saw a bunch of creatures walking around. We probably wouldn't let them see us, right? I mean,
Well, she was kind of screaming,
Yeah.
down the hallway. Yeah, they were like, oh, my chimera. But you clock that arm and you see like a blood trail. You're pretty sure that like whatever happened to Akoto, like something happened, these beasts were released, and he was just torn to pieces.
Is that confirmed? Do we have?
It's not
Do we have the
confirmed.
dog tags? Do we have the confirmed kill?
Do we
No
see the head?
confirmation. Yeah, do we see a head anywhere? Can I look?
Yeah, I mean, roll an investigation.
Like from there, like a safe like.
Yeah.
Investigation.
Looking for a head.
Love that.
hmm
Love that for me. 7. Rolled an 8 minus 1.
Yeah. No head.
Put your glasses back on.
No head.
I'll use minor illusion to like make like.
Use an
It's like
description.
I just feel like if we were approaching, and I saw a bunch of beasts, I probably would like do something about it. Wouldn't just like walk up and be like, "Hey." So while we're walking up, I probably would make use minor illusion to make this like the huge sounds of the chimera like coming closer to this in this direction.
Okay.
To possibly
Yeah.
frighten them if possible.
So
Okay.
yes, you hear the wolf snarl and the snake shriek, that almost violent shrieking sound as you guys approach, and all the animals and beasts kind of clock that and kind of move away into other areas, a lot of which are trying to figure out how in this small space to get some kind of defensive position without getting attacked by the other beasts. It seems kind of like a battle royale of sorts in there. But they're not fighting necessarily, but they're all kind of like, you know, at a standoff. One of which has an arm in its mouth. It's more of a mandible. It's this crab-like creature.
Is there a gate?
Should we check?
Yeah,
Maybe
there's the
shut
gate.
it.
There's the gate right there. The gate
Are we
seems to
all
be
together?
ajar. Yes.
All of
There's
us
a
are
gate.
together?
It seems to be ajar, but it doesn't look like anything's gone through it yet.
Okay, I am going to
Wait,
in all
if
the
you-
time.
if
Go
you
ahead.
caught me, did you drop me right when you went to run and scream? Am I
No.
just lying on the ground?
You're over my shoulder.
Okay. Oh my. I
I
assume I'm like passed out.
new pauldron.
Pat on the booty. Let's go.
That tiny
Okay.
tiefling booty.
Yeah. And so in the idea of us going in to see what happened, but also not getting hurt, I'm going to like pull like my experiences with Cornelia, like being sneaky, and I'm gonna be like, we all have to be that sneaky. And I'm going to cast Pass Without a Trace.
Okay.
Oh, great. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So, what form does that take?
Just like a mixture of like seeing what everyone has done. I'm like taking things from like each person where I want to be sneaky, but also I remember like seeing
So you imagine
the way that
yeah.
like Bane was like cast and like took over like the dark like shadows also, but I want that to go over
So-
us.
You imagine in your mind's eye, you imagine Cornelia, and you've seen her sneak and just be super quiet, and you see this almost a memory along a thread appear right in your mind's eye, and you just bunk hit it, and shoo, everything around you and your party just that same silence seems to just enshroud the whole party.
Cool.
Everyone there, you seem to walk, but your steps make almost no sound. And it's almost like you feel numb on the pads of your feet because you're so light now.
So I'm making no sound.
Yes.
You don't exist.
Are we like we're like
Actually-
back to back like a cartoon tiptoeing all together? Is that what we're doing?
Mhm.
Yeah. So
I actually crawled
Against
back
the wall.
into Dresden's arms too, by the way. So I'm being held right now. Like kind of on his shoulder.
Hello,
I'm like sitting on his shoulders even.
hello, pretty lady.
Oh yeah, like a baby. Like he's doing it.
I love
The
that.
pretty lady stuff.
all right. Yeah. So.
So
what
we
do
all
you
get
guys
plus
do?
10 to stealth.
Yeah.
So
Plus
let's
10.
you guys want to go sneak in and see?
Is this
We should sneak in and see what's going on.
is this like an area of effect
Sounds
thing, or
good.
is it like a
It
person to
is
person thing?
Yeah, the whole
person to
party
person. I
gets
get
it.
to choose. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not an area of
Don't they have to
effect,
be
you just
within
have it.
30 feet or something like that?
In
I
the
thought?
initial cast, they do.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Cool.
And how long does this last?
This lasts up to an hour.
Oh, great. Sneaking sounds lovely.
Yeah.
So you guys are gonna go sneaking through the ruins.
Mhm.
There are at least a dozen animals moving around in there. Okay, so everybody roll a stealth as you try and kind of move through this.
Am I conscious? I don't.
You are
I don't
not
know.
conscious.
Okay.
You are over my shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I didn't have to
Pat
roll.
the baby. Burp the baby.
But can I just can Trust just fart out a little of that energy that was crackling around her? She does that, just a little
Yeah,
I
just
kind of
the
yeah.
residual
Just like a little flame.
Residual
Yeah,
soul
just
energy just comes.
a little crackle.
Yeah.
Still brimstone. What do you know?
What did everyone get for stealth
18.
With a plus 10,
with a plus 10?
Yeah.
22.
34.
34. I hate rogues.
Wait. I also got a 34.
I hate monks.
Nice.
What did you get, Rogue?
24.
24 in trust?
I'm not
Oh, you're
conscious.
not.
How am I
Yeah,
rolling?
that's right. Yeah, but what did you
Sack
get?
of potatoes.
She's
got
part of my
100.
34.
Yeah. That big old clawed crab creature with the swirling shell seems to just move off into the back after it hears that chimera. It sees you, but then it moves away. Another creature, it looks like a black cat of some sort, but emaciated, very, very thin cat with two tentacles just floating off of its back and forth. And it's weird because you look at this cat-like creature and it's almost blurry. You can't even see it. And it prowls, and you almost didn't see it, but it prowls from out of a shadow where it almost materializes, then back into another shadow and moves off into another part. You see a bull head rise up over some debris, and then when you move out, you see this strange, almost octagonal torso, and these little almost flanged spider legs coming out of this torso, and it kind of crawls, and its red eyes just kind of scan around, and then it skitters up and then down over something, and none of that seems to see you. And that's when you guys clock it. You move and you kind of get an angle to the side where you had left Akodo, and all you see there is just this giant pile of blood and viscera and scraps of clothing, really nothing discernible.
Are there
Nice.
any tools on that? Do I see anything where a belt used to have been? Any maybe pouches, things to how he
Nothing.
controlled these animals is what I'm looking for.
It doesn't seem like there's anything like that, and mostly because all the houses here have just been obliterated. There's so much debris in the area that it would be very hard to find anything, much less find it intact.
Got it. And his body that's on the ground, is there anything discernible on it to say that it was him? Or is it pretty
Other
shredded?
than the fact that that was the exact spot where you guys had poisoned him and he had fallen over. Nothing necessarily that. I mean, the
Perfect.
scraps of. I mean, that arm you saw was clearly wearing his shirt, so that was his arm. And if something lost an arm like that, it would probably bleed out pretty fast if it wasn't already just torn to shreds. You're pretty sure that he's no more.
Cool. I guess I'm the only Akodo now. That solves that problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's nothing left weapons.
I mean, you can start
Tools or
sifting
anything
through
by-
this stuff. There's just piles of debris everywhere. I
Not
mean,
right
you
where
can
his
try-
body was. Though.
I mean, you'd have to sneak up over there if you wanted to.
You have a +10.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay. Roll a stealth check.
34.
34. So
Yes.
you sneak up silently like a shadow, like a tiny little shadow, just into one under a board here, around here, and you get to where his his body was, and you start to see there's a few things around here. There's a small pouch which might have held some gold. You find a book. You don't. The pages are kind of mangled and torn, but you may be able to get something from it. And then you see a small stone with a rune on it.
Ooh. I'm gonna grab all of that.
Okay, and as you grab that, Rezik, you see something weird. It's as if the ground undulates like water right behind Cornelia. And you can't tell if it was a trick of your mind, but you're pretty sure it wasn't. As if something had moved through the earth. As a small vibration.
Okay. How far away is she from us?
She's a good 30 feet away from you.
Perfect. I'm gonna use Mage Hand and just tap her gently on the shoulder. and then when she turns around, just like kind of like and point to like where the ripples are kind of happening in the ground.
And Cornelia, you look down and you can't feel it. It's weird. You can't feel it, but there's almost a mirage of the ground vibrating.
Can I place the rune down? The rock?
Yep.
I assume that's what it was. I'm gonna place it down and see what happens.
And you place it down, that undulating starts to get a little bit stronger and a little bit stronger.
jeez.
I just kind of motion like,
I'm gonna point to the rune. No?
and I was kind of like grab it.
Alright, I'm gonna grab it and run toward them.
Okay, you grab it and you start booking it. And as that happens, the ground where you were just standing silently just starts to sink ever so slightly. And then in a blink of an eye, these teeth, this just fleshy teeth, almost like a plant, just goes slowly moves down into the ground, and the soil just goes to fill in the hole.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah, we
Yeah, I don't
gotta
like
go.
any of that.
All right,
go, guys.
you all sneak out, and you manage to sneak out just fine.
Scooby-Doo walk.
Yeah, this place is just chaos.
Soccer
All
mom
kinds
walk
of
out of there.
things you haven't seen, you haven't heard, like all those other beasts being like cautious and stuff. You're like, what are they seeing that I'm not? Like, your mind runs wild with the possibilities. And you guys seem to make it out of that gate, which still seems to be ajar, but not completely open. Yeah,
I'm gonna shut it behind us.
yeah, and you managed to close that gate.
Safety first.
Good thinking.
Is there just asking about the seclusion of the area? Is there anywhere where we could like hide and take a rest, like a just short rest, or
I
are we
mean-
basically within full view of everyone all around?
I mean, right now you are, but it doesn't. It seems like that group had gone back to HQ. It seems like those Ashen Riders that had run away have just barricaded themselves into the barracks, and it
Okay.
seems like everyone's kind of just in defensive positions, as defensive as they can get.
Do you guys
Yeah,
think we should go make the Ashen Riders clean this up? That's something that I would. Is that something that a Fart Kodo
No,
would
they-
do?
No, well, it's true.
You guys locked yourself in here. You should have been out there to protect us. Should I go get them and?
I just feel like they're all big babies. They probably won't even, they'll be too afraid to come out.
I'm a Kodo. They're more scared of me.
True.
scared of your animals.
Both.
But they're tearing each other apart back there.
I mean, I think we can just use this to our advantage. Like, run the clock out. I can keep making the sound of the chimera, and after 6 hours, we'll head up.
Are we missing anyone?
So I was gonna ask, yep. Who do we want to try for Daladale again? just in HQ if we want to see if he wants to come. I
Nah.
think that's it, right? Got the pup.
Yeah.
What about your guys' friend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Camden.
Should we just grab him?
Bring him.
Yeah.
I think that might be the best option with him. But
Dang.
I mean, should we hide for now though, and then once 6 hours are up, or once 5 hours are up, or whatever it gets closer, we'll come over there and start. Do it now.
No.
Okay.
a short
know
rest could probably help us all.
Yeah, so you guys make it back over to the platform
I'm all right.
that had lowered into
I
this
am
pit.
too.
And you find there's a handful of crates empty crates that have been loaded up as if they had started loading, and then it seems like halfway through, whoever was loading these crates had just booked it and ran away.
Oh, cool. Half-loaded crates, you said? As in the crates are
there's a bunch
half-loaded, or the
the
amount of
empty-
crates that are loaded
The
are half?
crates themselves, it seems like there's one crate that's halfway on the platform and lids that weren't secured tight. And most of the crates are empty. It looks like there's still supply crates that they had brought in. And again, that row with the chains of those manacles, those anti-magic manacles, are there.
It sounds like we should maybe try to store some people right now.
Okay. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Stick me in there. Just
6 hours? I'll go, but I want my bed.
I need a long rest. I'll sleep 6 hours in a crate.
Can you long rest for 6 hours?
No, there ain't.
Well, I mean,
I think it was a figure of speech.
It is time to pass the trust out.
I would like to take a 10-minute short rest though, if we can at some
Same.
point.
Yeah, I'd almost rather do that now and then figure it out.
Yeah, maybe
how
while
many-
we've got these things, we empty them and
Yeah.
make sure we've got enough, and maybe just put the tops on them and make them look like they've already been loaded, and then we've got them, set.
I like it.
I'll just
I like
stand
that.
watch. I'm very obvious.
And how many
Yeah,
crates
and-
are there currently on the platform?
Mhm.
There's about a dozen crates.
Mhm.
I'm gonna turn back into the very generically handsome dude that I am down as.
Okay. Yeah. You're now a generic male.
Yeah, so I'll help empty crates and just kind of put the tops back on them, as if they were fully loaded, and hopefully no one suspects the wiser.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like when you are shipping empty crates back, you still put the lids back on and pack them up tight because it would be a pain to haul them.
Structural
Find the lid.
stability.
Yeah. So, Cornelia pads
And-
one of them into a nice little cocoon.
Remembering trust had a nice time. I want to be that comfy.
And there are a few carts, hand carts, that are hauled on this platform, one of which they had brought on. So you could load those up if you want, preemptively. I don't know. Whatever you guys want to do when that thing comes and rises again.
Right.
Yeah, and you managed to get a short rest in this time. It doesn't seem like anybody really wants to come out at all. Most people are no take backsies.
Yeah, and I tell. So what I'm gonna do while we're doing this, by the way, too, is every few minutes I just make the sound of the chimera as far as I can away in the direction of where it was.
All right, yeah.
Kind of echoey, and then I'll also tell
Solid.
Eva to take a rest for a while we're kind of on
Okay.
during this downtime.
Yeah, Eva seems to take that immediately and just falls asleep. And disappears.
New question. What do we roll to recover HP?
You roll your hit dice. So for you, it's a D10.
D10.
So you have 2 D10 that you can roll for maximum per long rest. So you can use either 1 or 2 D10 if you'd like now on a short rest. But if you use 2 now and you want a short rest later, you have none left. It's like a pool
Got
of
it.
dice that you can. And you
And
add
you
your
only get
constitution.
half back when you take a long rest.
Bless you.
Right.
Half back.
So you get 1 back per long rest right now.
Got it.
You have 2 that you can spend. Oh,
Roger. Well, that was good enough to take me back to full.
okay. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you guys pretty much have full reign of the place. Especially with those chimera sounds, it doesn't look like those guys are coming out at all.
Nice. Yeah, keep that up.
So what should we load up into those carts then?
Yeah, what do the carts look like? What are they?
There's a big old cart. It's like a 2-person, similar to the one that Troch and Kesht had brought you on. They had both been carrying, almost like a large rickshaw.
Oh, so we could perhaps put some sort of buckets or barrels or crates or whatever on that, and it would be expected that would probably then be carried on out.
Yeah.
Is that the reality? Oh yeah. Then when we're setting them up, it's like we load that on there,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
The tops just slightly on. Yeah. Okay. I don't think we want to march across the space with that. I think if anything, we head over, we grab as many of the people that want to come, that are our friends or that we can take, and we just kind of like force march them back, and then just slam them in there. And then you double down on the noises when that happens. And if anyone else can like make the windows of the building shake or something, like because they're all in that like tavern, right?
Yeah, they're in the barracks.
We just double down on that. I mean, maybe is there like a big bucket of blood anywhere we could just throw in the windows or something? Really imaginary.
Get some chains, start.
No, stay inside.
We just get some tree branches and scrape on all the windows.
Yeah.
Wait, we took a short rest, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Oh, actually.
So, what are you guys doing?
I think we're headed back over. Once we've done that, I think head back over to where all the white ones are, all the
HQ?
slaves.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the HQ.
head
I
over
put
to
my sister in a cart also, just
name, James, by the
put her
way.
in a cart.
or in a box.
In a box. Okay. Yeah.
With
Too weird if I walked out with a wolf.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, and can we throw Andrew in a cart too?
Is he even with us? Is he still crawling out of the thing?
No, he didn't. No. He was. No. He eventually made it back to you. Just as you were coming back out of the place, he snuck out. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Put him
Yeah.
in.
So he jumps into a one. We got Pup's sister in. In one. You've lodged trust in one, and Cornelia's made a cocoon in one.
Great.
Awesome. Yeah, let's head back over to HQ, which is not the headquarters of this place.
Yeah. You head back to HQ, and everyone is hidden in some sort of tent or behind some kind of backdrop. It's real sparse.
I look over to Rezik. Good job.
No problem.
Yeah. And you in your Ashenrider garb, 10 feet tall, kind of start marching into the center of this place. And the people you do see, terrified expressions, just kind of shrink away. It's like, if I can't see them, they can't see me.
Yeah, let's just go try and find Camden and everyone that, I probably shouldn't take point on this, so yeah, the rest of you maybe.
Well, if we're trying to grab people, to be me and Rez, right?
Am I in the cart, or I just built a bed in there, or did I go in
You
there?
just built the cocoon. You didn't actually.
And I'm still with. Okay, so.
Okay, so we have to get Camden. We already have Ander, right?
Mhm.
Yep, he's good. I can go.
I am.
Trust, you wake up in a dark box. There's light shining
It's a
through.
coffin.
It's
Coffin.
It's
Didn't think
it's
this through.
tough to tell, but you're in a it looks like a sturdy crate with a little bit of hay at the bottom.
I assume I'm exhausted and just confused.
You're less exhausted and more just dizzy.
Okay.
You're unoriented, and being in this box did not help.
That's fair. Can I go back to sleep?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just sleep it off, man.
Trust decides. F it.
Trusts.
I'm going back. Okay, so trust, yeah, just
Well-
back to sleep.
I don't know where you guys went, so I figure it's better than wandering around. Figure you guys will come back for me.
Yeah, we need to get Camden, and also we need to ask Freewind, Daladel, and Zuna if they want to come with or not.
And
Hey.
I can go do that.
Great.
Perfect. If the chimera, not the chimera, the lion thing. What the heck is that thing called? Manticore.
Manticore?
If the Manticore, if that guy got his face back, and it had Tiny Toes' friend's face, does that mean that maybe that person has returned? That person also we're looking for?
She was brought to the plank, so she's probably in there if she is still alive.
Yeah.
Huh.
Nobody comes back from there, they said.
Yeah, it's filled with
They
lava.
said.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we
She
do have
would-
6
You guys are
hours. We could
kinda
explore it
wandering
more
around.
if you want.
Daladale kind
I
of
don't
peeks
want
around,
to go.
peeks around, and clocks you guys. Kind of looks up and walks up to you. Hey, what the hell is going on out there?
Party.
And he kind of looks at you, Dresden. Well, you're a big fella now, aren't you? A big man on campus, huh?
Nay.
Big party.
Nay.
I'm just gonna look down and be like,
Lost his
isn't it
mind, too."
great?
Yeah, I do like the smaller version, definitely more. But
he's already
he's good
big.
in a fight.
So he's the big and the bigger version. That's really what it is.
No, he wasn't that big.
Debatable.
Do a quick check.
An awful lot of commotion been going on out there. All kinds of weird beasts. You all okay? You seem to be all in one piece. Well, mostly. Dresden, you've seemed bigger, but you've seemed better at other times.
I'm okay.
Yeah. It's been a wild ride, to say the least. But
How have you
for the
been?
meantime, I think we're through the
Yeah.
the worst of it, through the worst of the storm.
Now we're just trying to get our friends. How are you doing with your daughter?
Well, it seems that Freeone's gonna stay. She won't leave. She's gonna be with the Ashen Rider people here, and I'm determined to stay with her. Although, Zuna thinks it's best that she, well, pulls strings from the outside. She thinks she can do more good out there than she can in here. So she may be heading with you, if that's all right.
I think you can all do more good out there.
I know. I don't disagree. But Freeone's her own girl now, and I will respect that. But I'm gonna stick it out with her as long as I can down here.
I mean,
Whatever that's
really, it's commendable. I mean, she's making this horrible place somewhat livable for these people. So I can't say that I don't somewhat agree with what she's doing.
I better stay with her. It seems like you guys have shaken things up quite a bit here. It's no telling what's gonna happen in the next couple of weeks.
About that, I think things are probably going to get a lot worse around here, and I think this might be your last chance to get out before the goings get a lot more rough.
Well, like I said, I don't disagree with you, but she's made up her mind, for better or for worse. So I think we're gonna stay. And he kind of walks up to you, Kelwise, puts a hand on your shoulder, and then looks at the rest of you. But I do want to say thank you. None of this would have been possible without you. You know, this is my daughter. She's one of a kind, priceless, and you've given her back, and I really appreciate that. And if there's ever a day where I can repay you, there is no price too large.
And I put my hand on his shoulder and say, and just look into his eyes and go, "You already saved us. We're just repaying the debt."
He kind of smiles and takes it in, a little misty-eyed,
When?
and he kind of
Like
just a
when
moment.
he saved us at the very beginning.
Oh yeah, you did. You put
Uh,
us on this journey.
yeah, he kind of misty-eyes. Ah, shucks, and slaps you on the back. Kind of saunters off a little bit, and that's when Rezik just boom overhead. And every time he just kind of, you see his tail just kind of,
Oh,
and then
gotcha.
kind of go back. It's just every minute or so,
Oh.
just that chimera roar.
Sorry, just ignore that. It's to scare the gods.
I'm glad it's you and not something else.
And by the way, don't think this is it for you. This is the end of the road. I can't speak for the entire group, but I feel like some of us want to come back and try to end all of this for good. So,
Well, we are the resistance, right?
yes,
The resistance.
the resistance.
Resistance.
Do you have an idea how we can communicate with you if that happens?
Communicate. Well,
Signal something to show that we are here. Maybe you've worked something on the inside. I don't know.
well, with my unique abilities, it may be easier for me to get in and out of the pit now that I know its layout. So,
Mhm.
there might be a way. Maybe I can leave notes with that bourgeois feller. Although he's
Mhm.
terribly creepy. Probably don't
Mhm.
want to go talk to him too much. But if you leave a note
Agreed.
with him, maybe he could get a note to me, or I could come and visit.
Great.
That's all I can think of for now.
Yes,
Start.
Freewind doesn't share any of your abilities, I suppose.
Well, she's not what you'd call a blood relation. She's more of an adopted daughter, you see.
Ah.
Yeah. But I take it very seriously, as you can see.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Well, your actions speak louder than your words, especially in this case.
Ah, that's crazy, because I'm pretty loud, if you've noticed. So-
We have, especially when you're a horse.
Ah,
Speak for
well. I gotta keep that one in my back pocket. One of my finer moments, if I do say so.
Agree to disagree.
Well, we should start gathering our friends and prepare to head out of here.
We'll meet again. Hopefully under better
I can promise you-
circumstances.
I can promise you we will. In some
Stay
capacity.
safe. Please.
You too.
You too.
And he kind of nods and heads back. And you see Zuna walk out of a tent with this very stone look on her face, really just holding in her emotions stiff. She walks up and just gives you a nod. Like she's with you, but she's not talking. She doesn't seem interested really in chit chat right now.
Understood. All right. Well, let's gather up Camden, and I forgot one more, by the way, as well as Myrtle. That family we met on the road, those women. We wanted to find Charles for them.
Charles. Yeah, the husband, Charles.
So maybe we should start asking around, and hopefully we can find him before we leave.
Jeff would know.
Oh yeah, Jeff. Yeah, Jeff.
Jeff would know.
I'm gonna look for Jeff.
Okay.
Glad I'm hidden in a box for that.
I realized, I was like, when I said that, I was like,
roll an investigation
Dang
check,
it,
because everybody's
Jeff.
hiding. And it's gonna be kind of hard to find him. You can kind of walk around and be like, Jeff.
He finds us. Come on.
I'm just gonna talk to the open air and he's gonna appear.
This is
I got a
deep boom
10.
voice. A 10. Yeah. He probably hears you while walking around the camp, but doesn't respond. He's shacked up in one of these tents tight and back somewhere, and he not to be found.
Also, you weren't super nice to him when you talked.
Yeah, but you do find Camden kind of huddled in a corner. Doesn't seem like that screeching from far away has even affected him, or he's clocked it, but he's still rocking back and forth, looking down, muttering to himself something. He's just kind of got that agitated, irritated feeling to him as he's rocking back and forth.
Hey, Pup, can you see anything when you look at him? Oh, I don't know any of that yet, though, do I? Shoot.
Do I though?
Roll a perception check.
Because I feel like is that something that I have to like pay attention to, or is that something that just happens?
For now, it's something that like so far has been happening in times of like great duress, and you haven't really been able to control whether when you see it or not. It just kind of happens. So this will be the first time you're really trying to like look at past, reality.
Perception, I rolled a 12.
12. Yeah, there's no indication of these threads. There's no lines. There's no connections or anything.
What's the name of the husband?
Charles.
Charles.
Can I look for Charles's thread?
Well, you're not seeing any threads right now. Like you're trying to look through.
At all.
Not at all. Nobody's
what I was
threads or
trying
anything.
to do is like see their friends, like if there's anything connected to him at all. But now I'm looking for a different thing. But if I can't see anything, then that makes sense.
I mean, for right now, it's just, and you find it harder to visualize too because you don't know what Charles looks like, which is a huge disadvantage for I guess we'll call it a third eye, your mind's eye, just trying to conceptualize these things.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah. It's just Camden kind of to the side, rocking back and forth.
Can I start just saying, Charles?
Yeah.
Charles.
You start calling out for a Charles, and a man, middle-aged, kind of pops his head out of the tent. Kind of dark, olive skin, hands have been worked to the bone. You can tell he's been here for a very long time. He kind of looks out. Hi, I'm Charles.
Hi there.
Who are you?
Well, my name is Lanolin.
Lanolin. I don't know a Lanolin.
Well, I may know your wife.
And he kind of
Her
looks.
Researching.
Were you married with children?
My wife.
Yeah, did we
What
get her
about-
name?
Do you know? Hey, you know Ramza?
Rasma.
Rasma? I wrote Rasma, but I read Ramza because my brain's bad.
Final Fantasy.
Rasma? I might know a Rasma.
Yeah?
You might know?
Yeah. Depends on who's asking.
Can you describe Rosma?
I don't know Rasma. I'm sorry. And kind
That's
of
bad
leans
because
back
she,
into his...
because do you guys write down the daughters' names?
I'm looking.
I only wrote down the mom's
I
name.
don't think we ever asked their names,
No,
unfortunately.
That's too bad because Ramza has these two daughters that were really excited to see their father.
I thought Cullen asked. I thought he did ask, though. Like,
I don't see where I wrote it down.
oh, man.
About a teenager, a young one,
I have
Your
Rasma Edenbow written
was
down.
just like really excited about toys or something. We gave her a fish. Very hungry.
Is it actually
fish.
Rasma?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
My wife was?
Rasma.
Rasma.
Rayishma?
Well, he thinks no, so I'm gonna keep walking around. Charles.
Well, to be fair, they didn't know Rasma. We just asked Rasma to take them and help them. He was nice enough to do it.
Now, right?
He was the bastard son of the Lord of the Edenbow
No.
Corporation.
The mom's name is Rasma. The mom's name is Rasma.
No, I have
I have
Rasma
Rasma.
Edenbow.
Rasma Edenbow, my
Oh,
patron.
I wrote that down totally wrong.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Do I remember that lady's name? Clearly haven't written it down, but I'm not even sure if I got it.
Yeah, you got her
I
name.
thought I had it.
You didn't get the daughter or the granddaughter's name.
Okay. All right. Well, it's not,
Well, it was hard to
you know,
tell the
go
dichotomy.
it.
You didn't know if it was necessarily the daughter or if it was like a young sister with a big variance. It was hard to tell.
Yeah.
My
Okay.
notes are a middle-aged woman who is a seamstress, and then a younger woman and a very young woman, 4 to 5 years old, and that's all I wrote down about it.
Yeah.
I'd like to lope over to that guy, kind of like turn him around, and ask him if that rings a bell.
Yeah.
Ask him if his wife's a seamstress.
I had a wife and a daughter many years ago. Why do you ask?
She a seamstress.
She was.
Huh?
You wanna go in a
What-
box?
She look like? We know what she looks like.
Well, I haven't seen her in years, so I wouldn't know.
Are we
Did
just
she
boxing
look
this one up?
Yes. If you can, Charles. Hello, my name
Colored hair?
is.
Number of limbs?
She had all her limbs. Has she lost some?
No.
We'll be asking the questions here.
I mean, yeah, that.
But like I just ask him, to describe like the color of her hair and whatnot, and sort of the shape of her face, and
Yeah,
Does it check out?
He
You know
gives
me,
you
I've-
very
that's
vague. Roll an insight check, I guess.
okay.
If
I've done. This was my
I have-
job.
pretty high passive insight.
I think I do too.
Also, what was your occupation when you were not, before all this?
Yeah, good cop, bad cop. Good cop, bad cop. We're doing it. I get to be bad cop.
Might be dumb cop.
Good cop, bad cop, dumb cop.
He well, first of all, he starts describing her very vague description.
And then I look at Rezik and I'm like, maybe we rough him up, see if he remembers better. Classic bad cop. No, I don't actually do
He kinda
that.
just raises his arm. No, please. I'm so sorry.
Well,
I'm sorry.
okay.
I don't.
Okay, consider this. What if we tickle him until he pees and then he gets embarrassed, so then he has to
Oh
tell
my.
us?
All right.
Well, dumb
Before
cop.
this gets out of hand, what was your occupation before you were here? And just to remind you, James, they said he was a traitor before he was captured.
Yeah, I worked with woods. Crafts
Oh, shoot.
traded woods and such.
Yes.
And goods.
Okay.
Put him in a box.
How would you like to sit
Return
in the
to your
box
wife.
for an undetermined
Pup.
That's the secret part. That's the
Pup,
secret
you're
part.
listening to this guy speak, and the look in his eyes, his movements, his voice, everything in your body screams, this guy is full of shit.
Really? You got all of the information really correct, though. All right. Well, that sucks.
Uh,
Traitor.
hey, Charles, come with me, guys. Let me handle it. Charles,
Yes.
I put my arm around his arm.
Oh, I'm so
Charles.
sorry. Please don't hurt me. I have
Charles, this was a test, Charles.
been down here
Charles?
very long time.
Listen. This was a test and you have failed. You know what that means?
Oh no. Please, I don't want to go into the meat grinder. I won't survive.
You know what that means?
I won't
What-
survive, please.
Listen,
Please.
listen.
I will give you
What have we
everything
learned?
I
What have we learned? What have we
Please.
learned? What have we learned?
I will.
What have we learned? What have we learned?
I'm so sorry.
Sorry for what? What are you sorry for?
I will do.
I mean, he's already in the pit. So I don't know if it's necessary.
Sorry for Charles. Charles, what are we sorry for?
And he seems to just cower away from you as if you're gonna strike him.
I know. I'm just gonna grab his face like by the cheeks, like a child, like grab the cheeks. Just like, apologize for lying.
I'm so sorry for lying. I'm so sorry.
Are you ever gonna lie again?
I will never lie again.
You're grounded.
Please.
Go to your tent.
Please.
Go to your tent. You're grounded.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I will never lie again. And he kind of waddles back, and you notice he's got kind of a limp. One of his feet's crooked, and his back is permanently arched, and he kind of just scampers into his tent.
There wasn't the right guy.
Should he go in a box anyways?
No. He lied.
Okay.
Rotten to the core. No lying.
And a daughter. He didn't say 2 daughters. I don't know. I was
For a
on the
while,
fence
it could have been
about
a thing where he had a daughter, and then the daughter had a daughter. But I mean, Pup knows people really well, so if they say that he's lying, then they're probably right.
Yeah.
That wasn't it. Charles!
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 Charles kind of hobbles back out.
Not you, Charles!
I'm
Charles!
so sorry. I don't mean to disturb you.
Get out of your tent! You're grounded!
So sorry. He kind of huddles back into his tent. And by this time, everyone is huddled away. They have us run. They've all tried to get as far away from you as possible.
I'm gonna grab someone by the shirt. Where is Charles? Not that Charles!
You grab, you turn, you just grab the nearest person.
I assume there's blood on me still too.
You grab you grab the nearest person. You don't even look. You just grab them by the shirt and lift them up, and they're kind of light.
It's
They're small, but they have this dripping water coming from the middle of their pants. They've clearly soiled themselves, and you hear, "Oh,
why
I'm so
me?
sorry.
Everyone pees on me the third time.
Please don't kill me. Oh God!
Oh, it's a freaking giraffe boy.
Oh. And you see, you're
Where
holding Jeff by the shirt.
Is Charles?
Charles? Oh, I don't know. There's 14 Charles in here. It's a very popular name. I'm so
Lead
sorry.
me to each one of them.
My God, you're so generic. Oh.
I'm very generically handsome. It's almost hard to look at.
It's not like we have addresses here. Oh God, people just kind of go around willy-nilly. Oh God.
Who's willy-nilly?
Oh, and then you
And
hear.
why are they going around?
Just hear this. And it's not good. And you just hear that.
didn't even get a tree, and I throw him down.
Yeah, and when he lands, it's not like a thud. It's more of a
Squish.
Oh.
yeah.
Oh.
And poor Jeff, just humiliated, scared out of his mind, on all fours, just crawls away from you.
I want to grab his ankle and pull him back real quick, look him dead in the eye, and say, "No means no, Charles. No more being mean to women and trying to pressure them after they say no."
Why are you saying that to Jeff?
She thinks he's a hooker, baby.
And Jeff is just like, and it's almost like you can see the spots on his neck turn
I forgot
pale.
I wasn't there for when he was being annoying to trust, but you know what? He's the type.
Oh, that's what it was.
I got that insight.
Strangely specific. I'll never do it again. I swear. I'll stay away from all the women. I promise. Just wanted to free her life before I died in this godforsaken place. I'm just incredibly lonely.
I'm just walking away. I'm gone. I left. He's talking by himself.
Kind of
I'm
following
gone.
you. It's just, I've had massive problems since. Oh God, it smells so bad too. I only have these one pair of pants. I don't really get pants. And washing clothes isn't really something we do down here. Oh God, just might have to like. Oh, there's some water on the way. Maybe you
Good
can
pick.
send.
I'm kind of.
Oh,
I want to see how long
Lord.
James can do this. To be honest, are we just gonna let James?
Just like, what did you say,
Brother,
Justin?
we
All right,
help
all right.
this boy's pants, please.
Yes, I will help this boy's pants, and I poop away his shorts.
All right, yeah.
Bravo.
So prestidigitation will clean clothes, but it's got to go somewhere. Where
On the
do you
leg.
put it?
On the leg.
In his
Like
mouth.
when it's out of the pants, where does it go?
That's up to
That's up
Jeff
to
will
you.
take care of that part of it. I'm
No,
not
that's up to
cleaning
you.
up poop.
No,
Why?
no, you pull it out of his. You
It's
pull that. You
floating there.
prestidigitate to clean, but you got to send it somewhere.
I'm not like magically like having it dance around. I just do that and it's supposed to just go away.
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't go away. It just
Really?
goes-
I thought it did.
Cleans. You clean it off. It comes off.
It
of
doesn't
him, but
get rid of matter.
Yeah.
It
Are you just
drops
gonna
to the
throw it onto
ground.
the ground to the
Drops to the ground.
side? Just drop
Yeah,
to the
drop
ground
it.
behind him.
Yes, what are we gonna do with poop?
Yeah. So it just like splats everywhere outside.
Sure.
And the prestidigitation is clean. Not on any of you, but Jeff just kind of looks at his pants, like grabs them, feels them around, moves a little bit, and it's just dry. And he's just like, "Oh my God, it's a miracle!"
Yes, I am truly a master of magic. Jeff, I recommend you leave immediately before anything else happens to you.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay,
Jeff.
goodbye.
Oh.
Yes.
I warned you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you
He's, like,
know
scooting away.
one of these
Yeah.
Charles from Pottenshire?
Pottenshire? What's that?
Never mind. Okay,
Is
keep
that-
walking.
Is
Go
it a
away.
Face company?
Bye, bye. I'm
Oh,
gonna try to
you
push
know,
him.
You know, I had a pot once. So my
No.
mom had a favorite pot. It had this little design on it. It was like, wavy lines back and forth. It was real.
I just want to pick him up by his head, like grab his head, pick him up, and then turn him 180 degrees, and then just sort of like gently push him on his way.
Okay.
It's like a wind-up toy.
Yeah, you send him on his way, and he keeps talking as if he's having a conversation, but continues walking with his new dry pants, and you can tell he's really enjoying these new dry, clean
Yeah,
pants.
it's probably the best he's felt in ages.
Oh.
Can you
Good job, Riz.
take the poop back into his pants? I'm not saying not to.
I'm gonna clean the
Chaotic
ground. I need to clean the ground with prestidigitation. Throw it back in.
He should have
Sweet
eaten it.
God.
Just kidding,
Yeah.
this poor kid.
Well, that was not a good lead. So it's
Can we
definitely
just like look around for the next hour or so for a Charles?
Yeah. Everybody roll an investigation check that's looking for Charles.
Hello, Charles.
18.
I rolled a 13, so it's 12.
9.
9. Hey, twins.
16 for me.
16.
Don't eat dice.
Just because it was so quiet in there, most people heard your altercation with Charles and the screaming at him. So nobody at least fesses up to being a Charles. You may have found Charles and not known it, but nobody. Everyone's like,
I'm a
nope,
bad person.
nope,
My
not me.
18.
Nope, I'm not a Charles.
I'm
Nope,
good.
you can't get me. I'm not a Charles.
Can we yell?
Do any of
We're
them-
yelling names. Should we yell Myrtle?
I mean, I'm not sure it's helping.
Myrtle?
do any of them look similar to the daughter, to the older girl? Does anyone here bear any resemblance at all?
I mean, it would be very tough to tell. I mean,
What if I look really
especially
hard?
because a lot of these people are so downtrodden, it would be hard to like really get a comparison. Most of these people have scarred bodies and their faces have been burned, so like it would be very difficult to tell.
Well, I mean, we gave it a good try. We can't, look all day. So, thank you all for helping. I appreciate it.
Maybe he'll come
Give
on.
it a try.
Yeah. And if not, we'll get them on the next go round.
Yes,
Myrtle?
exactly.
Myrtle?
Can I go to the dive?
Oh.
Yes, you can. You start to head out when everyone roll a perception check.
Because I assume people are lost
Wait,
out
should
there.
we,
'cause
should
they
we
couldn't
grab
see,
should we
but now
grab
that they
Camden
can
before we leave?
see-
Or
Yeah, no, yeah, if we're leaving this,
I think it has to be like a social encounter though, because he's gonna not want to be
Well-
touched at all. So
Yeah, no, I know.
Everyone roll a perception check right now.
My backpack is huge right now, though.
Perception?
Yeah.
30-20.
15.
Finally, natural 20.
Ayo.
Nice.
21.
So
Dresden,
20.
Oh, buddy.
the core in
buddy.
your body starts to really, really bubble with energy and stir as if it's being upset. It's almost like that energy inside you is upset and angry.
Bubble gut.
And you feel it coming from the direction of where that southeast passage of the plank. And you start to get this sense of dread, this deep, deep sense of dread and despair that you can't shake. And it seems to be getting closer and closer and closer. What are you doing?
I basically described that to everybody in the least paranoid fashion that I can. Just sort of like, you said it's coming from the dive.
Mm-hmm.
Something's happening out the dive. Something bad. You feel it?
No, but I have a sneaking suspicion that after they got their faces back, they could see again. And all the people that were lost are returning.
You can find their way back.
How many lost their faces?
We know at least Myrtle did.
and just to confirm, this is the dive or the plank we're talking about.
From southeast, from the plank.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Did I
but
say
we
that?
we
I
have the
apologize.
uneasy from the dive.
I don't know which one I said.
The plank.
We're all
from that
talking about the
southeast
same
passage
place.
To the plank. That
The dive's the
misty
hole.
area.
plank.
That misty area. Yeah, with the
Got it.
Where we
The
walked in.
lava.
coming
yeah.
from that area, you just start to feel something close in on you. It feels deep and it feels dark
I don't like that.
and it feels crushing almost.
Okoto. No. The big the dream demon. The dreamer.
Dream.
Hostess. Nope.
Damn it, hoaxes. Hoaxes. Does
Hocus.
this feel like a hoaxes?
See, it sure feels it might be a
Possibly.
hoaxes.
Fuck. All right, kids. Wrap it up. Time to go.
Yup.
All right, so let's get Camden.
You feel his
And
presence? or what
before you can even, you guys start heading in the direction of Camden, you start to see the lights flicker on the walls, and
Not good.
the fire starts to get smaller and smaller, and the entire cave area seems to darken, almost to a buzz, a hue, just embers on these torches, and you can't see it, but it's as if like 1,000 stars, lights are shining. They start to shine through the cave
Crap.
all around you. And
Like,
you can't really see from your vantage point, but from across that opening in the gate to HQ, this small creature with a big cloak starts to float across the opening, ever so slowly, and you see its cape is covered in what looks like stars, but being reflected off of the ocean's surface. And this cape is just, the cape looks like it's almost weightless. It's just flowing almost as if it is underwater at the same time. And this thing kind of crosses by and then turns its head. And these
Gather
two
everyone around Rezik.
thin
And gather everyone around Rezik.
red eyes look down the hall at everyone in HQ, and it turns back, and it slowly starts to fade as it moves across, and you can see the lights reflecting off of its cape, just moving and dancing across the cave opening. And that's where we're going to pick up next week.
Probably shouldn't have left Trust alone.
Lovely. Love that. I'm hidden, but
Crap, I
I
totally
don't know how to
forgot
find
about the
you.
whole thing.
oh no.
Rezik, have you been able to see this whole time? I totally forgot about that whole part of the...
Yeah, I've been able to see this whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have been?
I have been, yeah.
Wait, what? What happened?
Well, no,
What
because
happened to
it's
Yeah, Eva came back.
Eva. I know. I just forgot about the
Yeah,
dynamic
he's been
when you
looking through Eva's eyes.
Okay.
All right, guys. We're gonna give away another sticker and a
Sticker.
handwritten note for anyone.
Woo!
Hashtag Chimera. You put it in the chat, and we're gonna pick a winner in a little bit, and you will be able to get one of these beautiful.
That might be how you spell it.
stickers.
I'm not sure.
I think it is.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow, guys,
That's
we
right.
lived.
And these beautiful
Made it through
stickers.
that
We
entire-
lived so far.
We lived so far, but I mean, we made it out of the Chimera thing. I was like, holy, we could have died easily.
Nah, we had it.
And nearly
Yeah, we
did.
got lucky.
Did we?
Well, some people did.
Dresden might have really died if I don't know what was gonna happen if
Yeah.
you really
Dresden may have
died.
died a few times.
Yeah.
Dresden. Anyways, thank you everyone for coming. We got a podcast, and we're up on YouTube if you'd like to catch up. Other than that, thanks you so much for joining us. We're MinusOneCHarisma, and we'll be back next week for some more Aventide campaign. But until then, take care of each other. We all need it.
All right.
I like
You
that.
stay
Have a good
classy.
night. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Adios.
Bye.
Good night.
Stay
Adios.
classy.